Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better life. Know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like God. That's right. Only you can make the change. Share your energy. Shine so bright from darkness to light. Hey, hey, hey. From darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way out. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it won't seem way out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The power of God will flow through you from way out.
All right. Welcome. This is Alchemizing Energy, and this is the Mighty Hebrew. He is coming at you live along with the Pashadah. We're going to get really deep into the Merkabah and the light system. We're going to get into the Kabbalah. And let's get ready for today's show. Shouts out to the Mighty Hebrew. Also, we're gonna later on, because I know we said that tonight would be the show with Mr. Rosenberg, Harry Rosenberg. We're gonna do that like next week, because he got a little bit sick. So please give us some time for that show to come up. But we're gonna start with this show, and then next week we're gonna do the show with Mr. Harry Rosenberg. Shouts out to the Mighty Hebrew. Let's go.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good in the Pashadah.
And we hear you too, brother. How are you? We got the cover. Merkabah Light. Merkabah Light, the hidden origins of. What do we got there? Take this chat off. What do we see? Of Abraham. Okay. All right. The hidden origins of Abraham.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing this, Mighty Hebrew. You always bring so much enlightenment. It's few and far between, too far between. So I'm very interested in hearing this lesson today.
Absolutely. First and foremost, I give all praise and honor to Yahuwah, the eternal one of Israel, the eternal one of the emanation, the eternal one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake, saying to the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be here. It's going to get real deep tonight. So we're going to try to get in part 1, part 2 tonight. Me, Nepal Shaddai, and DJ Genesis. We're going to do commentary on the Kabbalistic cycles, Merkabah Light, and the hidden origins of Abraham the Hebrew. I did this presentation some months ago, so we're going to bring it up and we're going to break this down. And I want to give, certain perspectives, the feminine aspect along with the masculine aspect, and then come to a conclusion. But this presentation is going to be dope. PowerPoint presentation is going to be dope. But before we get started, we're going to go to my new album that just dropped a couple of months ago called Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. 4th song, Leaders is Lying, because we got a lot of so-called leaders out there that claim that they leaders. And in the backstage, me and Nepal Shaddai, we was discussing some things. So I think this will be like a good song for that situation. Let's get it.
Go.
Damn, man. These fucking leaders out here all over the world follow Western liberal models. You're wise, man. Yo, leaders is lying, brothers is dying, mothers is crying, deaf, dumb, and blind think they shining in mainstream limelights. Lost tribes and sacrifices in the land of bondage. Our ancestors must rise and use powers to define, so to stop suicide and psychotic minds. Fake ass leaders, Israel, we coming. The right side of the mind see through the evil eye of Illuminati. Material genocide got the wise blind. Fake leaders take pride, upholding psychotic minds. The earth's destroyed by ecocide, chemical side, insecticide. God, use committing toxic homicide. The blind lead the blind, they both fall in the ditch. Pharmaceuticals capitalize off the sick, getting richer. Lawyers postpone dates, making capital gain off clients while behind prison gates. The love and the hate creates new cases to take place. Mr. Bill Gates, the evil snake, hold more cake than Africa that's being held bound by iron gates and locked up with colonial hate. Imperial states shake the world like earthquake. The laws miss the awakening. False prophets be faker than Jake's vision of KRS is seen and heard. So you must learn where the Hebraic ones and
viongozi wamezidi uongo, unajua. Yo Mike, hebu waambie,
check it out.
Hebu waambie yo.
Leaders is lying, brothers is dying, mothers is crying, deaf, dumb, and blind think they shining in mainstream limelights. Lost tribes and sacrifices in the land of bondage. Our ancestors must rise and use powers to define, so to stop suicide and psychotic mind. Yo, black, these leaders, man, straight cold cowards. Devils rock heavy metal bells and keeping masters in hypnotic spells. We fell from Elohim to Baal. Now we in ghettos, cooking coke, puffing nails. It's mad hard to tell the truth from the lie, the light from the dark side, the wrong and the right, the fool from the wise. Our domes is now clouded with sick foam. Now we walking zombie zoning like a blind man trying to catch reflection in the mirror. Stumbling, our Israelite heritage was stumped in a doctrine, Khazarism. From this DI, I became captive, labeled with African American. After 2 continents, named by Gentile invaders, manifesting hatred. Eden's original place was the Holy Land. We spoke Lashawan, our true language. Now we in bondage, speaking bastard, being ruled by dukes with Confederate minds and red flags. That's hazardous and
That was excellent. Wow, drop a bomb for that one. Can you hear me, y'all?
Shalom.
Yes, we can hear them. Yes.
Dirty rotten scoundrels.
Let me, yeah, you know, I know you were. I dressed tonight for the occasion for y'all. Oh, and
I
by
love
the
it.
way,
Beautiful.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Put him on the
to
big
me.
screen so people can see his attire. Genesis. Move the band. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I love it. The pearls. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, my Isha made this for me. Congratulations to myself. I am an official Zaquain. I'm an elder. I just turned 50 July, so now I'm Zaquain not Sikh. So it feels good to look good to be 50, you know.
That's what I'm talking about. Zaquan,
and
all right.
I wanted to say this. I wanted to say this to you live, Sister Napa. You are beautiful. You know, I know women that's 30 and look like they 80, and you know your age and you look beautiful. And you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I just pray and hope, you know what I'm saying, when my Isha, my wives get that age, they look just as good. You know?
Oh, wow. God bless you. And listen, and he's met me in person, but let me keep on catfishing up here. Wink, wink. Thank you. Those are beautiful words. Go ahead. Shout out.
I was going to say shout out to Elder Netta, by the way, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. And today I made sure that I didn't do my hair and no makeup so they could, you know, get to keep on getting this vibe of reality and realness, because I think I let them down when I did that one stream. I didn't really have all my glamour on. So they were a little shocked at the real me. So, you know, it's always good to have beautiful words for each other. I've made mistakes in my past. I've attacked people and it brought down my light. So I'm glad that you're talking in this vibration about to talk about the Merkabah and the light and the beauty. So you always have a great energy. Come forth and tell us more. And by the way, this is a brother who has many wives. So he attracts women. Men who attack women don't attract women. Can I get a bomb dropped on that? So go ahead. Thank you so much, my friend. And where's Genesis? Genesis, where are you?
I'm here. I'm just like, you know,
no,
just
we need
doing
your
it.
beauty. We need your beauty too, and we want to talk. We want to hear the teacher.
I'm 49. I ain't quite Queen or Queen or you know. I'm just
coming in now.
I got one more year.
You're coming in now.
You're coming in.
All right.
So one more year. Can you hear
about
me?
The Merkabah? About the Merkabah.
Yeah,
talk to us about this.
Well, there's first and foremost, again, giving all praise and honor to Yahweh. We know that there has been a gross misinterpretation of Hebrew thought over the years because of the ultra religiosity that has been displayed. I think I hear an echo in the background. That's not the one. That's not the first one, DJ Genesis. It's the other one. That's part 2. So we want to put the other one on. She'll get to it. But it's been a gross misinterpretation of Hebrew culture and Hebrew thought because of the religiosity that has been put on the Hebrew culture. So most of the time on social media, you get that surface level material. But that's not just look at it from a Hebraic perspective. All societies had those that looked at things from a literal standpoint, and then you always had those that were adapt in their mind when it came to having an understanding of their own cosmogenesis. Cosmogenesis and anthropogenesis is not just geared to the Hebrew culture, but all societies had this similar understanding. When you're talking about the Sephardic tree of life, the Merkabah light, Kabbalistic thought, everybody had these understandings within their social frame, given an understanding for their societal viewpoints. So I don't want to make it seem like this is just straight Hebraic, even though I'm giving the Hebrew cosmological and anthropological understanding of what is going to be conveyed tonight. But I definitely want you to chime in, Napashadat. That's why I asked DJ Genesis, I said, I hear she want a co-stream. No, bring her to the show because, you know, I've been watching you over the years, your growth, your development. And a lot of times we badger people on social media, but we never look at the growth and development of 10 years ago to now, 15 years ago to now, 20 years, et cetera, et cetera. We just continue going down the same rhetoric path, and we don't, you know, congratulate each other to uplift that light. Sometimes your light can be dimmed by others condemning, which in turn intensifies your light. So it may appear, you know, at times that your light is not shining, but your light is shining. But I just want to let the family know they're going to have a powerful presentation coming, and whoever is on the panel, yo, that's built on this knowledge. You know what I mean? Because there is a gross misinterpretation of Hebrew culture. There's a gross misinterpretation of the first pages of bitter sheet, falsely called Genesis. So I'm going to give a universal principle and understanding of what Ha'adam means, and how Ha'adam means the firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms facing the northern star. Ha'adam is not a man, but it's an ecological condition of those being born from out of the earth's surface. So we're going to get into that as we continue to develop. So let's start this presentation, DJ Genesis. Let's get it.
Okay, so should we start from here or a little bit further in?
Hit that play button.
Okay, let's go.
All right, peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. Hope everybody had a beautiful and a blessed day so far. You know, a lot of people didn't make it, but fortunately you did. A lot of stuff going in the news. We're not going to talk about that, but I think you understand the importance of being here tonight. And tonight, we're not just going to have just any, the typical Hebraic discussion. We're going to get a little bit more into the science of the Bible. I think that's what is missing within the community, is that we don't really delve that deeply into the science of the Bible, especially pertaining to Bereshit, especially pertaining to our patriarchs of the Bible and some of these other, stories and narratives that really have a more scientifical connotation to it. And what's going to be important is that you have to open your mind when you're accepting this type of information, because everything that you're being, presented with is not your typical narrative. You have to be open-minded. You have to understand that when we teach, it's simply from not only from a linguistic standpoint, but from a cultural background as well, so that you can get, the full scope or a holistic approach to understanding the scriptures. And I think, a lot of people don't really understand what that looks like when it comes to having to relearn everything that you've been taught. Because that's where we at right now. That's why you're here. You're here simply because you understand that I have to relearn everything that I've been taught, right? I got to relearn everything. I got to relearn my science. I got to relearn my math. I got to relearn my history. Because everything that we've been told was what? Right. It's been a lie. So if it's been a lie, then guess what? I can't trust those institutions. I can't trust those individuals that gave me the information. So you got to dig deep for yourself. So where do you go? Well, you come to, to channels like this, where we point you into the right direction, because that's all that this is, right? We don't profess to know everything, but we do present you with the scholars that understand exactly what it is that you need to know in order for you to move forward in your life. Because what more people are dealing with now today are their finances. Most importantly, I mean, that's been forever, but how do we progress and get ourselves out of these situations that we're in? Well, one of them is that we got to find a new method, a new way of doing things. That's first and foremost. We got to find a new way of doing things. And in order for us to be able to do that, there has to be a transformation that happens within the mind, because we can't move on something that we don't even know anything about. So you got to search for the information. You got to get taught the information. And so I brought tonight, again, the Mighty Hebrew from the Mighty Hebrew University to break down the Merkabah light and the hidden origins of Abraham, the Hebrew, simply because it's very much centered around science. I'm telling you, it's going to be a powerful discussion. But before we get into that, I want to send a shout out to all of you in the chat. Layla, shout outs to you.
A black man had tried to register, and he was lassoed on the courthouse steps and tied to the back of a pickup truck and dragged around the black community until he was dead.
He would have a gun, his shotgun. He would sit in the living room at night, protecting his family.
And around October 1930, Minnie Lee Thomas, she took the stand to tell her truth.
This was not unusual, but what happened later was.
But when someone attacks you, when someone comes at you with a club, when someone comes at you with a rope, when someone comes at you with a gun.
Georgia was the headquarters of lynching.
Despite the fact that you've done nothing.
This story has never been told until now.
And the only way we can bring about a change is to talk the kind of language, speak the language that they understand.
The white men would come through our town, little area where we live, with the Confederate flag, with those red trucks.
Look, people want to forget the truth, but this story must be told. And we all know a truth spoken before time is dangerous.
Tonight, video has surfaced of an African-American man being chased down and killed. His family says he was just out jogging.
He was found the next morning, his head facing down inside a gym mat at Valdosta, Georgia High School.
For grand jury findings in the death of Herbert Gilbert, the 37-year-old shot by a deputy. Juror saying today that the shooting was justified.
It's not just the community around where Pop lived, but it was all over.
Thomasville, the city of roses.
Court is now in session.
All right, y'all. Again, that was the documentary trailer for Thomasville on Trial. It says September 2022, but So, it's a lot more information that needed to go into the documentary. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for being here. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and we're gonna get into this, this discussion. And Mighty Hebrew, he's here. There you are. Appreciate you, my brother. Shalom alaikum. Thank you again for being a part of the show. If you would, unmute your mic. Thank you, and tell people a little bit about who you are and what we're going to discuss tonight.
Okay. Hallelujah. First and foremost, I give all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, built strong for righteousness' sake all over the planet Earth. I say into the family, Shalom Aleichem. Definitely an honor and a privilege to be here. Yisrael. Tonight, we're going to be breaking down Merkabah light and the hidden origins of Abraham the Hebrew. And what I'm going to show is that the original Hebrews are, in fact, Elohim embodied in human form. And I did 2 PowerPoint presentations on that. That's going to be shown tonight, by the way, of Hebrew Cosmogenesis and Hebrew Anthropogenesis. And me and Lord Mikael, we're going to break it down with open discussion, like a commentary or discussion. So it's definitely imperative that y'all all bring out y'all pens, papers, sources of references. Because DJ, tonight stop we're going in, Genesis. and it's going to be a lot of sources. And what we're doing at the mic. I want everybody to know that's on the panel, especially in the Pasha Dot. Anytime y'all want to cut in and stop and build on what y'all hear, please do so. Okay, because this is going to, because I did this like a year or so ago. So I need the feminine aspect of what y'all see. That's why it's very important to bring Ha'adam to a state of consciousness as we grow and develop in our understanding today in 2026. So whenever you hear something that might click in your thought, just tell DJ Genesis stop, or Lishbal in Hebrew, or whatever, however you want to say stop or pause. And then from there, add, and we can build on the thought. So then those that come after us in future generations, they can take the information that we building on and they can do commentary on it. And this build can continue to go on and on as we develop as the Elohim on earth as is in heaven. Continue on.
Now here's the question. Should we keep it like this or like the other version? What do you think is better for people to communicate on?
Whatever, however you see it, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Right.
How do y'all feel? You're good with
Either
this?
way, I'm focusing on the actual.
Yeah, I'm
fine with this because you can see it bigger, so people can see.
Yeah, landscape mode.
Can't see as good as us. Us 50 plus year olds.
You know what?
Hey, Genesis, can you hear me? Can you hear Oculus?
Yeah, I can. I'm sorry, Oculus. He's here too, and he is not only a scholar, a psychologist, and Mason, but he has his, So welcome to the channel, Oculus. I'm not sure if you guys know.
Shalom, my brother.
Shalom. Hello.
Likewise, I wanted to say, it looked really, really good in landscape mode. If you go into portrait mode, it just looked too big, and you can't see the people that's on the panel. So landscape mode is fine for me.
All right, cool. So this is good. All right, everybody, make sure they're good. If you see it like this, you don't like how it look, do landscape mode. Let's go. Here we go.
And before you start, everybody in the chat, I noticed, hit the like, thank you, but share this video. For some reason, it's on the HOK, and I'm looking at I got to find out about the notifications, but we need to get everybody to come look at this. So I just want to say, share the video, get everybody in here. Thank you.
For a proper chronology of our history, because our history has been dictated to us by those who is feeding the objectives of white supremacy. Like I was explaining some time ago, that there was a man by the name of Max Muller. What he did in 1856 was sorting the Hebraic Euclidic cycles to manifest white supremacy by using the Usher's Bible chronology, 6,000 years. But let's get to this, shall we? It's going to be very, very deep. Give a shout out. I see Sister Tracy on, Layla. Sister Layla, I see, come on. Shout out to Sister Neftali. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's watching, I want y'all to really watch it. Y'all, another thing, y'all can't go in and out the presentation. You're trying to get the full impact. You got to be attentive and listen to everything. Hallelujah. So I'm ready whenever you're ready, my Lord. Image that you see right here is the shield of David. Okay? You have the vertical and the horizontal, and you see a man in the center. So what I'm showing right here is the first DNA helix of man. We know the DNA helix that we have today, but we're talking about the process of creation. Okay, and from my records that I'm bringing forth through the stanza of the Zion records as well as the Tanakh, we're seeing that the cosmos came into being 311 trillion 40 billion years ago. So this image right here is more of what we would consider in Kabbalistic Zoharic thought as Adam Chachma. This is what you see in everything in existence that's in existence today comes by the way of this helix right here, this DNA helix, the six-pointed shield of Dawayad.
Stop. Okay. So I know that we're under the impression that we came from the cosmos, so to say, or the universe. But at the Mighty Hebrew University, we teach the opposite. We say that the universe and existence come from man. Let me show you. When I say man, a Pacific man. Lord Mikael, could you pull up Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19? If you have access to that.
Yeah, I got you.
Take the time. Okay. So what we're saying at the Mighty Hebrew University is everything comes by the way of Elohim, by the way of our cosmic body. Which you see the sun, the moon, the stars, the solar system, that's the residue of the original Ha'adam Chachma, by the way of Merkabah light, traveling from thought into reality. We want to show this. Remember in Deuteronomy, or Devarim, chapter 32, verse 7 to 8. Remember, the portion of Yaakov is not like the other nations, as Jeremiah 51:19 say. Remember, it says that the nations of the earth numbered in accordance to the children of Israel. The number of the children of Israel was for 70 souls. Genesis 10, you got 70 nations.
All right, what was it, Jeremiah? What
I
again?
the Most High numbered 51, verse 19. Whenever, hallelujah, could you read chapter 51, verse 19?
All right. So, not like these in the portion of Jacob, for it is he who formed all things, and Israel is his very own tribe.
Now, the portion of Yaakov is not like the nations of the earth. For Yaakov is the form of all existence. And Yisrael is the rod of Yahweh's inheritance. That is showing us an identifiable factor of the past when we were etheric in nature. When you read the table of nations, and not the table of nations, excuse me, the Genesis, the creation story, the emanation, in each dispensation or each quote unquote date, we existed, but our existence was adaptable to that environment. That's how we was encased. So we existed the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, et cetera, if that's what you want to call it, day. We say Yawan, which means that which containeth life. So we existed, but our form may have varied so we can survive within that condition. So once the sixth emanation came, or the sixth creative cycle, now you're talking about the body now solidifying into what we see the physical anatomy of man. In the previous root epics, we existed, but our bodies could have been more stronger to the condition. It could have been a variety of things, but we existed. So you can continue on. I just wanted to show right there in Jeremiah 51:19 that the portion of Yaakov, or the nation of Israel, were not like the nations of the earth. Remember, Tehillim, Psalms chapter 82, it said, "For I've said, ye are Elohim," talking about the children of Israel, "but you shall die like man," meaning the other nations of the earth. Israel, we're not humans. We're from another dimension. We're Elohim embodied in human form. I'm gonna show y'all. Continue on. Let's get it.
Okay, and everything that we know today, I don't care what you're talking about, atoms, neutrons, electrons, protons, the sun, the moon, the stars, everything came by the way of these 6 points, and the 7 being that conscious thought of Yah. So this is just an image that I just want to show in the beginning to give people an understanding of what you would consider that cosmic man. And centered around it is the original DNA helix. You can go to the next slide, Bassam. Now, what you see right here is also the DNA helix. And what you see is what you will call in the Ivrit, the Sephirah, or what we know as the 10 planes of Yahweh Ayin Sof. And in the center, or what you see is man and woman, or the male and female principle, really in an androgynous state or asexual state. But
you also see
Hey, Genesis, can you
the
pause it?
process
Can
of
you pause
separation.
it? Can you pause it?
So
Hey, Genesis, can it be paused real quick? Whoever running the show, can it be paused? Hey, real quick, Genesis, I want to bring this to your attention. Remember, about a day ago or 2 days ago, I was the person that was talking about the eternal flame, and I told you how when we split from that flame, before we split from that flame, we was asexual. I want you to keep that on record in your mind that I said that. You remember that?
Yes, I do. Yep.
So that goes to show you that the individuals on the other channel that we were speaking, they did not know what I was talking about. And now that we back over here and I'm saying these things, and then the individual that was just speaking complimented what I said, right?
That was me. That was
It
me.
shows you that I was just not blowing smoke.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So go ahead. Go ahead. Y'all got it.
No, go ahead, brother. No, go ahead, brother. You absolutely correct. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying, what I didn't get to say on that, y'all, I don't know if the two individuals that's up here, all the three individuals up here, I know Genesis was here, but the other two wasn't. I said that we were asexual. So when you're looking at God, God will technically be a dynamo. It will be a neuter. It will be genderless. You see what I'm saying? Encompassing male and female energy. And I'm saying this directly to Genesis. But I just want to say that to Genesis personally, so she know that I just want blowing smoke. And those individuals did not know what I was talking about. They don't even have a reference point. See, when you're dealing with the Merkabah or the Merkabah, however you want to pronounce it, from my understanding, I understand how to implode the cells so you can actually leave this physical reality. It's a lot dealing with spontaneous combustion of the human body by way of imploding the cells. But once this person further on in the conversation, maybe they might compliment what I just said. But I just want to bring that to your attention, Genesis. I just want blowing smoke.
The person that's talking is me. I was on another show that I run with another brother. But I wanted to say something. Anytime I'm gonna give y'all something that y'all might never notice about Nepal Shaddai, right? So I gotta put this out there. Anytime you see her close her eyes, right, and just sit there, she's registering the information and she's gonna come up with something. So I'm just waiting. And I don't know if y'all noticed this about her. Am I correct, Nepal? You know, you got them eyes shut. Do you hear me? You in meditation mode? But let's continue on. Can you hear us?
The individual with the yeah, it looked like her screen loaded on my side. It just looked like it's going in a circle.
Do you hear us?
Can you guys? I think I have a delay. I'm trying to change.
There's a slight delay.
Yeah, but I can hear you.
Okay,
but I'm trying to change devices. But I'm right. I'm following along with the build. It's awesome. Yes, I'm listening. Am I okay right now?
I was saying, yeah, you good. We can hear you.
What were you saying?
No, I can't hear her. I can't hear nothing.
I was saying when you have your eyes closed, that means that you coming up with something real deep that you're gonna say. And I'm saying if people don't notice that about you, she always do that. That right there is that sign that she about to explode. So I'm just waiting.
You know what, Mighty Hebrew? Listen, you are one person that knows me because they'll be saying stuff like,
wait a minute. So the person that was just speaking on the video is the same person that's up here that's on the panel at the same time. Yes. Oh, no, yeah, like two different people. Okay. I'm sorry. And what's your name again, sir?
I'm known worldwide as the Mighty Hebrew.
Prince Charlandine.
Okay, copy that. I'll refer to you as the Mighty Hebrew. No problem.
That's fine. Or you can.
Yeah, but you're right. You know what? My wheels are turning. I have to.
I just call you Prince. That's where we'll roll with. That fine by way of you. All right, Prince.
I don't think he can hear me. The Oculus brother. I think he can't hear me.
He can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yes, I'm definitely
on my end. Her screen is just loading. It's like a circle, just going around and around. I can't hear nothing she's saying.
You gotta leave and come back, Oculus, because then we can see everything on this.
Yeah, Oculus.
Okay, but yes,
drop down and come back.
I'm really interested in hearing more about the build. You're doing a slow build I've listened to your teachings before, so I heard some of this, but I'd love to hear how you're putting it all together. So yeah, if I hear something that I want to jump in and add to, I will. I will, Prince. I'll come right in.
Okay.
Thank
Let's
you.
continue on.
All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's go.
A man and woman go hand in hand. There is no separation. When you see the upper portion of the six-pointed shield, that's symbolic to woman. When you see the lower portion, that's symbolic to man. Give me a second for a minute. Hold on. So now you can change the symbol back some. The same thing. You see it again. You see the same six-pointed helix, the center of man and woman as one. And at the same time, you see the 10 Sephiroth. So not only do you see the 10 Sephiroth, you also see the six-pointed shield at the same time. So I'm showing you the cosmic man, okay? Or let me put it correctly, the cosmic Adam, because Adam means firstborn. So this is what you said. Go to the next slide, because now we're getting in. Okay, Hebrew Cosmogenesis 101. Why do people keep lying, saying that women were on the planet before men? You hear this argument. Yo, women were here first. Millions and millions and millions of years, women were here. Men were here before women. Millions and millions and millions of years. When you're dealing with polarity, there's no way, shape, form, or fashion that one can exist without the other when you're dealing with them when they're in condensed physical matter, okay? It is impossible. Now, you have two types of beings that's on this planet. You have asexual beings, and then you have beings that procreate, or better, proemanate, okay? And when you have beings that proemanate, you need both the male and female principle. Asexual beings have what is the male and female principle consolidated or capsulated within the androgynous being. Originally, we were that which was androgynous beings. Now, if we go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 21, it says in Yahweh Elohim, or Elohim, calls the deep sleep. In Hebrew, that's Thorim Dima. Hebrew, it symbolizes a deep trance, like a loss of selfhood. As we continue to read, it says that this loss of selfhood, or this deep trance, fell upon the Adam. It don't say Adam, it says Ha-Adam, given a definite article, meaning the firstborn or the first blood. It says that this deep sleep was caused to fall upon the Adam, and the Adam slept. And Yahweh, next slide. Next slide. Yes, sir. Or the Elohim took one of his ribs. It says, Arak mitzut, alut hiot, in Hebrew meaning the side, the root meaning that which envelops or covers or protects. So when you talk about your rib, you hear Hebrew Israelites like, yo, man, I'm chilling with my rib. I mean, that's really wrong. That's not right and exact, because the Hebrew, it doesn't say rib. That's not what Zola means. Zola is talking about the feminine principle or the feminine polarity that resides in the Adam. That's what it's talking about. There's no such thing as, yo, this is my rib. That's something that we made up based on a mistranslation within the King James Version of the Bible.
Mighty Hebrew. I don't know.
Hallelujah.
You know,
Hallelujah.
You're bringing a lot of. Okay, good. You're bringing some really good points here, man. But again, you know, when you're talking about that the woman is not the man's rib. Now, I don't know. I don't know if people are going to go for that, because, you know, it's been, you know, something that we've been saying a long time, like that's my rib. You know, so now you're changing the narrative on us. How do you just bring that back just a little bit? Break that down one more time.
Well, first let me make a slight correction about the term androgynous. I don't want people to like misconstrue. What I'm saying that Ha-Adam was an asexual being that was neither male nor female, but capsulated both the masculine and feminine polarities, which in turn became sexes later on in our recorded history that you see in Bereshit chapter 2, verse 7. Now you see that Ha-Adam, which means the firstborn of the first blood, rising with outstretched arms. You see Ha-Adam going into the deep sleep, which is really talking about a process of the separation of the polarities into Zakar wa Nekiva, which becomes male and female. There was a process of that. Now, when I was speaking about the rib being taken, and it don't say rib, well, the Hebrew word is zalah, which defines the side or the feminine principle within Ha-Adam, not literally a rib, because we see in the woman, she's not actually missing a rib. So, I mean, like, we got to like get a better understanding. Remember, a lot of the Hebrew words that are recorded in Strong's, they're translated based on how the King James Version was translated and not necessarily directly from the Hebrew. That's why I'm going directly into the Hebrew and I'm breaking everything down. And then I'm giving you the source of references when I'm done, where you can go and see the same translations that I'm coming into. You know.
Now, I want to say this, that this is really interesting when you talk about the Merkabah. You talk about the feminine versus masculine element, right? Because it also exists in Ifa. Now, I'm not sure if you want me to bring that into, you want to like get a little bit further into what you're saying, but I can show like that when it comes into the Merkabah in Ifa, this is interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to say this to the people because I see certain comments on it. Oh, and so everybody know, I'm here in Tanzania, East Africa. I will be in Philly shortly. I will be coming to Harlem to visit Sadnetta. We're getting to that shortly. But the Hebrew word, when you're talking about red, that's not in the Hebrew. The Hebrew word is zalah. And zalah is the feminine principle within the ha'adam. See, we're under this impression that the word Adam means man. No, it does not. It does not. The word man goes back to the Sanskrit word manu, which means to think or thought. I want to bring this out because this is where the male chauvinism comes in at. And this is when people try to exclude the woman. So let me break this down real quick from the Hebraic understanding. So when you look at ancient Hebrew or Sinaitic Hebrew, it's really archaic symbols. So the Hebrew word ha'adam, you see the hey or the ha. It's an image of a man with outstretched arms facing the northern star, which is inclusive of woman. Then in Adam, you see the aleph. It's an image of an ox head. It symbolizes strength, power, first in rank. Then you see the daleth, which is a doorway or to go within. And then you see the meme, which is water waves. So when you say Adam, you're seeing the firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms facing the northern star. So Ha'adam in that retrospect is not defining in this context as a man, but it's defining an ecological condition of those being born from out of the earth's surface. This is not to be taken literal on surface level. But again, if one wants to look at Adam being the man, okay, but it goes deeper than that. But go ahead, Napasha.
I want to add to, let me jump in and I want to get to the, there's something else I want to say, but what you just said, can we also think of it as the being, the one who exists rising out of the water, which isn't blood also dam? So the fluid, the liquid, can we look at it as the being, that the one that exists rising out of the water? Can we look at it like that?
You can look at it like that, and guess what? This is going to make you smile. You know what we can really look at it as? A child being born from out of the mother's womb.
Boom. Yes. Out of the waters. Okay. Yes. That's awesome.
The firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms. When the child is born, the child is looking with outstretched arms to its mother.
Yes.
The earth is symbolic to woman. Like I said, Ha'adam is not defining a man. That's even go deeper, right? Watch this. So we talk about the word Ha'adam, right? Because that's what it says in the Hebrew text. I challenge anybody. In the Hebrew text, it says Ha'adam. But when it talks about the earth, the ground, it says Adamah. But you know what's deep about that? When you look at Ha'adam, in the beginning of Ha'adam, you see a hey. And Adamah, at the end of Adamah, you see a hey. So you're talking about the polarity of man and woman coming from the earth's surface from out of the ground. You see how deep the Hebrew language is when we define the symbols of the Sinaitic Hebrew from which it was originally revealed versus the modern Masoretic Hebrew. When you look at the modern Masoretic Hebrew, And when you go into these concordances, what it's doing is crossing over Hellenistic thought into Hebrew words. So when you're looking this up, like when people talk in the chat, they say, well, I can't find it. Well, you're not going to find it if you don't go to ancient Sinaitic Hebrew, understand the archaic symbols, and break this stuff down. If you're just going to a surface level, you're going to get a Hellenistic thought behind the Hebrew word. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. You got to go directly into the Hebrew to get this. And like I said, I can challenge anybody on this level because this is what I do. I teach all over the world. This is what I do. So what I'm saying is, let's go to the oldest documentation that we can get. And this is not, and let's not get this twisted. This is not just capsulated only in Hebrew thought. All societies had an understanding of cosmology and cosmology. The only ones that's looking at it from a religious surface level are those that try to adopt the Eastern thought and they put Western ideas. That's why y'all believe there's a literal Adam and Eve. That's why y'all believe that there was a talking snake and there was an apple and Eve deceived Adam and all these are Western ideas that you don't find nowhere in the Hebrew text when it's understood correctly. Or New York.
I love it.
We can continue on.
And so that was beautiful. Thank you for that breakdown. I want to go back to, I don't know if it was mentioned. I'm listening. I'm kind of in a delay, I think, but I know your teachings about us being before we are the flesh and the matter. You talk about ethereal beings. Did you touch on that at all with the light beings? Can you talk about the ethereal?
I'm gonna get into that.
Okay.
I ain't gonna give it up, but I'm gonna get into that. I want to give a shout out. I see cats from Tanzania watching. I'm over here in Tanzania, East Africa. I will be coming to Uganda next week. Yeah, man, I got some presentations over there to do. Then the United States. You know what I mean? I gotta go see. I hope you be there in Nepal when I come to home.
Tell me when you'll be there. Tell me when you go and I'll be there.
I'll be there the end of August. I'll be there in the August.
Oh, okay.
And for everybody, I see everybody. I'm 50 now. I'm official Zaquin. I had a shout out to I-Tribe, Rabbi Harry Rosenberg, who sponsored my eldership appointment. Everybody that came from Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Israel, United States. It was so dope, you know, for the 34 years of work that I've done in the nation. And, you know, the awards that I got, it's just an honor and a privilege. You know what I mean? Just to, you know, be living in Africa, coming from out of Philly. Yo, I love everybody. Let's continue on. Let's get this thing pumped.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Right. So I wanted to like bring up like some of the conversations we had within E5. Now, do you want to like just wait and like just talk about the Hebrew, or do you want to get into the E5 stuff as well?
No, I'm saying the reason why I want you to, when you see something that's familiar in E5 thought, then you pause it and then you add on to that.
Okay, let's get into it. All right, so here we go. So now let me just like give a disclaimer. This is a white man. It's a white Babalawo, and I've had him on my channel, right? And he is about to break it down, the Merkabah, and also the connection, the similarities, right? So I don't want people like, well, why you got this white person? No, like let's like okay, so let's not get into it because I know
you want to put him on once I start talking about the Merkabah.
I don't know. It depends on what he begins. When do you start talking about the Merkabah?
I think you should because it aligns what I'm saying when I'm on that discussion.
Okay,
versus I'm
all
not
right, cool.
actually
All
there just yet. I'm building up to that.
Okay, all right. So let's just go deeper into the Merkabah, and then we'll get into the E5, like similarities to the Merkabah. Let's go.
I mean, it may not be 100% the way that I see it, because you got to remember, as knowledge, as people grow in knowledge, the understanding broadens. This is what it means by build. Even when you look at the nation of gods on earth, they'll come up to a brother, man, what's today's mathematics, Lord? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And today's mathematics, well, it's the first for me now, but for y'all, still the 31st. So what's that? Wisdom, don't tell me, wisdom, knowledge, all being born, what it be, equality? Is it equality? Or is equality 6? Or is equality 6? number 6. Because I know 5 is power refinement. I think it is equality. But the whole point that I'm saying is you gotta build off the foundation. You can't just stay stuck like how the elders seen it 50 years ago. Not to disrespect the elders, but to elevate what the elders brought to us with the limited information that they may have had specifically at that time. And it's also a way we can critique our Zakwanim without them showing face. That you don't do that like in a public forum or dishonoring their name. What I'm saying is we did the best we could with the information we had at the time.
Right.
Now we're in a season whereas though now we can bring forth spirituality in the science of observation by using Hebrew cosmogenesis and Hebrew anthropogenesis as a bungee cord of learning and development. Right. Remember, to enslave a people, there has to be institutions to enslave. To free a people, we have to develop institutions. So what I'm talking about is a thesis that has been battlefield tested. And when you look at Hebrew cosmogenesis and Hebrew anthropogenesis, it don't matter what a person that's Hebrew believe in. Whatever their discussion is about the culture, it's either going to fall by the way of Hebrew cosmogenesis or Hebrew anthropogenesis. If you're talking about the creative spirituality, cosmology, whatever, that's Hebrew cosmogenesis. You can't get around it, no matter which school of thought you're coming from as a Hebrew. If you're talking culture, the language, the dress, the eating habits, the dancing, the moral code, etc. Now that's Hebrew anthropogenesis. There's no getting around it. And that's the scale, the balance that the Mighty Hebrew University is trying to bring forth to the people, that we are now, as Sister Neftali would say, this is a new school of thought. But put it like this, I would say a renewed school of thought, because it's continuous cycles and seasons when it comes to our existence. There is no beginning. We came with the earth plane. So once we understand that retrospect, that we came with the earth plane, then you can't be boxed in academic consensus. Academic consensus and academia can only tell the imagination of European imperialism, European colonialism, European supremacy, European domination. Anytime you use the stroke pen of the enemy, you have become engulfed in their madness of servitude and slavery and pure hell and damnation. It's time now for us to seek a new road, a new mode of thinking, and a new understanding of developing and establishing our chronicle or our chronicles based on the records that our forefathers and foremothers left behind. I hope I answered the question. And if you want to add on, you can add.
I don't. We can get right back into it.
Hallelujah. The law is a feminine principle that resides in the Adam. It has nothing to do with red. So if you're going to translate it in English correctly, if you're going to do it, if you're going to be literal, it should translate as side, not red. I mean, we're going into the Ivrit, and this is esoteric in nature. This is not literal. We have to stop taking everything that we read literal. And then it said enclosed up. Ishigod. Hebrew, not filling up a gap where the side, falsely called rib, had been and built into it a complete human form and given life. The flesh, bashar, visible substance, dormant duality becomes activity, single sex. Instead, there, verse 22. Now, verse 23 says, and the Adam said, this is now hapam, actually, really, bone, itzim, Hebrew, substance in general, spiritual, physical, organic, as if the Adam said to the woman, this is the very spiritual substance of my whole being, of my bones and flesh, and of my flesh she. Zor, Hebrew, not ha, Hebrew, she, not in reference to a bodily, come on with it, Bassam, woman, but an impersonal pronoun, okay, an impersonal pronoun. Hold on for 1 second.
Can I speak while just in a pause real quickly about a little bit about that?
Bassam, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. It just took me a second to unmute my mic, though, brother.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Genesis?
Okay. All right, cool.
Genesis. Yeah, just real quick. I won't be long. On that point, when I listen to you teach that, there isn't a separation of genders in my mind when you look at it from that metaphysical, from that spiritual aspect, you don't even hear it as now this is a man, this is a woman. You hear it as a almost like a progression of one being, of one. When he said bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, it's not that now you're separate, you're the other gender. It's still an extension of self. Am I on the right track? I don't even see it as male and female when you put it in that perspective.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. And I'm definitely going to expound on that. And I know there's a couple of people in the chat said they want to hear me talk about Abraham. That's going to come up. I need to set a foundation. You know, a lot of people are just, oh, I'm just going to talk about Abraham. No, we're going to get into that as it progresses. You see what I'm saying? This is like a classroom setting, even though we're doing the commentary on what I did on a previous show. But we're definitely, I want people to get out of this mind state that all Hebrews think the same. Let's make it clear. The Hebrew Israelite culture and heritage is not a monolith. See, most people, and this is not to cut anybody, but most people, when they talk about their children of Yisrael or the Hebrews, they only talk about what they see on social media or on the street corners. So this is the mind state that they think, oh, all Hebrews think like that. And that's just not true. I've been to 17 African countries. I traveled the world, Turkey, Israel, all of Africa. I've been to different places. So you're going to get certain different schools of thought when you travel around the world. You see what I'm saying? So we got to stop being biased, and we got to stop trying to box people in a certain thought, because I see certain comments. People will say, oh, that's symbolic now. Well, it always been symbolic if you understood and had proper teachers, if you had proper Marines. See, I sat under the late Prince Asiel ben Yisrael. I sat under the late Ben Ami. I sat under the late Elder Ishkael ben Yisrael. I sat under Prince Dr. Shaliach ben Yah. So I sat under some of the most prominent Hebrew scholars on earth. So when you sit under certain scholars, and especially the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem and Damona, Israel, Northeastern Africa, going to the school of the prophets, then you get a certain type of understanding that might not be known to the general audience. All societies had the adaptships. If you go to ancient Kemet, you had to be initiated in certain mystery schools to understand the deeper meanings behind the glyphs or the meduneta. Even when you come to Africa, when you go amongst those practitioners of Ifa, amongst the Yoruba, if you go amongst the Igbo, which I've sat in Igbo land and Lagos, Nigeria, and when you sit amongst these different tribes, they also have, if you want to call them secret societies, within their tribal structures. So they have a deeper cosmological understanding of their particular mythos. So let's stop trying to make it seem like the Hebrews were literal, when in fact, when we cut the chase and stop the bullshit, what we know as the so-called Bible, it's an Eastern book. It just became westernized when Westerners adopted it. You see what I'm saying? So it's an Eastern record. Just like if I go to the book of Aichi, I go to the book of changes. If I go into the Purim Heru, if I go into what you call the Ramayana records, if I go into the epics of Gilgamesh, the Imuni Elish, whatever I go into, these are Eastern writings. We must have an Eastern understanding to build. We got to stop coming into an Eastern discussion with Western minds. Hallelujah. Let's continue.
Hallelujah. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. Can I just say this before you start it again? Real quickly, what you said, they're making it back to what you were just talking about, the creation. They want the man against the woman, which is it's a Western, I hate to use the word European, but because there's also some Celt and Picts that are not with that mindset, but they are putting it into like the man must dominate the woman in their minds. So I love how when I hear you talk about the creation story, you put it in a perspective of it's not male versus female or a separation. It's an extension of one individual, one person. So I just want to say that. Thank you. Thank you for letting me add that.
Make sure. All right, now getting back to the point. All right, so now we talking about shall be called woman, Isha. In Hebrew, it's the faculty of willing or freedom to exert individual willpower without which the likeness of Elohim or Elohim, okay, or the generative goal of perfection could not be attained, okay, because the woman was taken out of the Adam, in Hebrew, the first blood or the firstborn, not man, which goes back to the Sanskrit word manu, which means thought or to think. So the Adam in this verse was activity expressing one's individuality, selfhood. The elemental germ of will is built in.
Hold on. Can I like address this? Because they are going crazy about that someone addressed you with this greeting. I mean, they have not been able to get off of it. And can we like get into like what is the significance of Assalamu alaikum? And he's talking about Hebrew Israelites. This is truly crazy. Oh my God.
I'll build on that real quick. Watch this. There's nothing wrong with saying both of them, because they're both Shemitic. They're both Afro-Asiatic Shemitic greetings. Let me show y'all something. Watch this. You know the word shalom don't mean peace. It doesn't mean that. That's a Western idea. Doesn't mean peace. It means completeness. When you say shalom, 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 however one wants to express that, it means completeness. Because when you bring that to somebody, you want their whole state of being and everything they have, their family, their friends, their loved ones, their properties, all that to be in a state of completeness. If somebody say salam alaikum to me, I'll say wa alaikum assalam. It's a greeting. It's a language. We don't want to get too fixated, and that's a religious mind state. I'm not saying Brother La is coming in a religious sense. I'm saying for most people, because you'll hear people that are Muslim, that if you say salam alaikum to them and they don't consider you Muslim, they'll just say wa alaikum. You know what I'm saying? But when you over here in the East where I'm at, you'll hear people say to Christians, Muslims, whatever, salam alaikum, wa alaikum assalam, shalom. It don't matter. You can say mumbo, you know, hotep. It doesn't matter. It's all defining a greeting. So we don't want to, you know what I mean, get into all that. But that's not the emphasis of this show. We don't want to like be like boxed in with the comments too much, because it's prolonging what's trying to be presented here. So, you know, if somebody want to say shalom to somebody or salam to somebody, completeness to everybody. Hallelujah. Let's keep it going.
There was a reason why I had to like, because it's going too much in the chat. It's like people can't get past. He's saying, and then they get to like talking amongst each other in different languages about he said that. It was like, okay, let's address it and let's move on. Okay, now that we know why, okay, there we go. So let's go.
Hold on. I want before you go, you said, Brother La, I'm definitely not wrong. It does mean completeness, man. You know what I'm saying? It does mean completeness. Like you're saying I'm wrong, but I speak Ivri. I'm telling you, it doesn't mean the word peace is the abstract Western idea that was inserted. You go to any Hebrews that live over here where I live at, you know what I mean? They're going to let you know it means completeness. When you say shalom akoti, you're saying completeness, my sister. If you say shalom achi, you're saying completeness, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And you know that in Hebrew, one word has 14 different meanings. So when you hear that word peace, that is more of a Western, you know, understanding. You know what I'm saying? But I'm fully aware of that word, my brother. But if you go to any Hebrew lexicon, I ain't talking about no Strongs. Go to any Hebrew lexicon. Matter of fact, watch this. if I'm gonna show you real quick, DJ Genesis, just type in, does the Hebrew word shalom mean completeness? And watch it pop up, and it's going to tell you yes, and it's going to break it all down. That's what I'm saying. These are small matters. It would be more safe to say, well, I never heard that thought before. Could you expound on that verse saying, oh, that's wrong? So I'm looking it up right now. Watch this. Right. You see that? Can you read that? Now, I didn't tell her, I didn't give her that. What does it say? Read that, DJ Genesis. What did it say?
Yes,
with
the Hebrew
word?
word shalom does mean completeness alongside wholeness, soundness, and peace. While it's most frequently translated as peace, it derives from the root word shalom. That literally means to be complete, whole, or finished.
Okay, let's continue on with the presentation. Thank you. Shalom.
Into an active force. Okay, so when I watch people on Facebook speak and on social media, they definitely lack the Hebraic cosmological truth of the scroll Bereshit or B'nai Eshyat, miscalled the book of Genesis. Bereshit shows the first human form, the Adam. Next slide. It shows the first human form. Go to the next slide. That was neither a man nor a woman, but the first blood or the firstborn that was dual sex in principle and unconsciously self-reproductive. Throughout the Bereshit 126 event, that period played of the creative fire within the cells of the Adam, which left the Adam's nerves and brain ineffective. Okay, this was brought forth much as plant or the tree that gives its.
I'm sorry, were you saying stop or was you saying stop?
I didn't say no. Keep it going.
Okay, like I don't know when you saying stop or the other person.
So y'all got that. The word. I know y'all go and get a Strong's Concordance and they'll tell you that Adam means man. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's a misconception. The word man isn't even an English word. It's a Sanskrit word that goes back to the Sanskrit word manu, which means to think or thought. The word ha'adam, remember, the original Torah was written in Sinaitic pictorial Hebrew, similar to the Medunetic hieroglyphs that you see. It's called the Sinaitic. So if we're going by the Sinaitic form, then when you look at the word for hey in Hebrew or ha, it's an image of a man because it says in the Ivrit, ha'adam. So what is ha? The ha is an image of a man with outstretched arms rising, facing the northern star. Fact. Then when you look at the aleph or the you see an image of an ox head. It means first cause, first point, first in rank, strong, powerful, right? Then you have the daleth or the da, which is an image of a doorway or a pathway that you're going within. Then you have the ma or the meme, which is an image of waterways. When you put that daleth and that meme together, it becomes dam, as in the blood of grapes. So when you say Adam, now you're saying first blood or first born, right? And then you remember that ha, the image of a man, which is inclusive for woman too, with outstretched arms rising towards the northern star. So ha'adam means the firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms. What is this talking about? This is originally talking about how ha'adam, coming from an ecological condition known as Adama, from the Ritz or the Ratazah, being born. So it's really talking about a state of existence, a society being born from the earth as a child is born from the mother's womb. Because remember, a child, when the child is born, before the child comes out, does not the woman's water break, right? Does not, in the process of a birth of a child, you see that water and blood, right? There's not a child, when that child is put in that woman's arms, that child looks up with outstretched arms towards the mother or the parents, correct? So when you talk about ha'adam, meaning the firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms. It is talking about an ecological system being born from the earth to the surface. See? So yeah, a man, okay, if that's what you want to say, but it's much deeper. It doesn't have nothing to do with an individual man. That's not what Adam was pertaining to, but it was pertaining to a spiritual, mental, and a psychological condition in an environment that would be in tune with that condition. You see? So if one sphere of Ha'adam is off, Ha'adam doesn't exist. It is an eternal idea that Adam would exist by the way of a ecology, so to say, and not an individual. And that's what the Bereshit was talking about. When you look, you see us going through different stages in our development, from our asexual being, giving birth laboriously from the sweat gland. We're getting to that shortly. And then from there, giving birth as a man and a woman coming together. But remember the scripture, what does it say? Man has become as gods, knowing evil. That's correctly say, man has become conscious, but even more correctly, Ha'adam, both the male and the female. See, when you just say man, it excludes the female or the woman. If we just say Ha'adam mean man, and that's not true. The word man is a Sanskrit word, but that was inserted by the way of Strong's concordances and others to give us the impression that Ha'adam mean man, and it don't.
Can you pause it for a second? I wanted to jump in
to
and
say that woman
talk to the. I want to speak to the teacher right now. Speak to Mighty Hebrew. I heard you mention also going back to Sanskrit, where that word man or man is linked to ape, and it also even in Spanish when you say mano can mean either doll, monkey, mono. It can mean doll, monkey, or human being. So can you talk to the audience just a little bit, the background, a little bit deeper about that?
Matter of fact, while I'm doing that, DJ Genesis, type in, does the English word man go back to the Sanskrit word manu, M-A-N-U? Yeah, when you read the Ramayana records of ancient India, right? There's supposed to be a god, a Vedic god by the name of Manu. Yeah. Manu in turn creates a being known as Hanuman. This is where you get the word, English word human from. It's supposed to be these 8 human-like beings that, have a society, et cetera, et cetera. This is where the movie Planet of the Apes come from. This is a historical fact. This is where they get the idea from. But Manu, excuse me. I didn't mean to say Manu. I meant to say Rama. Rama was the deity. The Sanskrit word Manu means man, mankind, thinking beings. Just like I said, yeah. So this Rama supposed to have given birth or created Hanuman, which you get the word human, these half ape, half humans. Now, what's crazy, there was a discovery in the Indian subcontinent along in Tanzania, East Africa, where I'm at, that they found a 16 million old bone fossil known as Ramapithecus. The reason why they call it Ramapithecus is because those that found this, or these East Indian archaeologists and paleontologists that found this, it reminded them of the story of Rama creating this Hanuman. So they called this ape-like being Ramapithecus. So I just wanted to know, absolutely, One Door, you absolutely correct. You know what I'm saying? Hard WN99 is absolutely correct.
Harwin.
What is his name? Yeah. Harwin. Okay.
His name is Harwin. He's a brother who comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, he's absolutely correct. I did a presentation on your show, Napashadai, on that topic. I don't want to get into that right now unless I'm challenged. You know what I'm
It's still
saying?
on there. It's still on there. It's way back, but it's still on there, definitely.
And I notice a lot of people watch that joint. People over here in Tanzania, everybody watched that joint, and they got a lot of views. So that'll be another topic when we talk about the origin of so-called species and how it attaches to the Indus Valley mythos. We're getting to that, but you're absolutely correct where you're going, where you're leading to. But continue on where we left off at.
Yeah, because but before you continue, I just want to let you know these are things that Prince Charlene Dean, aka Mighty Hebrew, has brought out 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it's just good. Well, I'm saying for me, I've only been on the internet about 7 years doing this, but yeah, way before. So I just wanted to point out that you've taught that really core information, which is very crucial information to see when we start talking about in science, primates, and you did have that conversation. So I just wanted to point that out. Absolutely. So thank you for letting me do that. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Continue on.
Was taken from man. That's not what it says. It says the woman was taken out from Adam. That's what it says. The firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms. So in essence, what you're seeing when it talks about taking out, you're seeing a separation of masculine and feminine polarities becoming masculine and feminine sexes. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Fruit. Now, when you look at the first pages of Genesis, I know in Genesis 1:26 and the 6th day of creation, y'all like, oh, that's when man was created. But we got to understand the reason why man now is being shown on the 6th day. The reason why, because man in his cosmic form becoming more and more densified existed in all these days. So we have to understand that man went through differences of growth and development, understanding him and herself within the physical plane of existence that we call this earth plane today. So we went through stages of budding as a tree, hatching, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to get into this in a second. When we go into Bereshit chapter 124 and 5:2, we see that it says male and female created he them. Now, as the cycles progressed in which the human form was developed and the masculine and feminine spiritual principles enter into a closer association with that form, a change began to occur. Out of the Adam organism, a single sex separate male and woman of today developed. This is easy mathematics. This is not hard pressed. If you have a batteries, and you have a remote control, a remote control can't be used just with a negative battery or a positive battery. It needs the negative and the positive for what the remote control to work, correct? You gotta have, it's like if you want to get downstairs in your house and you're inside your room, that's considered being in the room. But to get outside that room, you have to get out. Now, some can argue symbolically that in and out, up and down, they're illusional. But in this dimensional plane that we are in the 3rd dimension, these understandings exist. There's a left, there's a right, there's an in, there's an out, there's an up, there's a down, there's a good, there's an evil, there's a man, there's a woman, a prince, a princess, a king, a queen. You're always going to have a polarity. One cannot exist without another. This is why when you study both the matriarchic concepts and the patriarchic concepts, they're both off. It is time now to go back to the Edenic concepts when man and woman are equal, but equality does not mean sameness. Our roles are different. Our perspectives are different, but the responsibility is shared and we trace our lineage patrilineally, but we're not patriotic. So these things have to be understood. Stop. Because I got to explain this. So you hear arguments that the matrilineal or the matriarchic system was before the patriotic system. That's true. But what they don't tell you is how it came about. The original system was what we call at the Mighty Hebrew University, Edenic. It was a balance of male and female polarity. As we became more coarse in our bodies, with some of us, the ego started to dominate. And when the ego started to dominate the emotion of the divine feminine, so to say, they, by the way of self-deception, created the matriarchic system. And through that, because of the ultra feminine dominance, it threw the balance of the masculine and feminine. right? So as this is going on, and this was antediluvian history, as post-diluvian started to develop, now you're seeing the rise of the patriarchic system, which that system was trying to overthrow the matriarchic system by bringing a balance of that masculine and feminine. But what happened, because of the ultra male dominance and chauvinism, it caused even more of an imbalance. So now you have this fight between the matriarchic system and the patriarchic system when they're both incorrect systems. You see what I'm saying? We weren't originally neither of them. That came later by the way of a learned behavior, by the way of the ego. You see, when you are in tune with Yah Yisrael, a man don't have to dominate a woman, or a woman don't have to dominate a man. The dominance came by the way of the lower self. See, one got to dominate another. No, this is a vibration. It's supposed to be a rhythm, a vibe, not a domination.
Right.
That all came through self-deception. So both parties from the matriarchic system and the patriarchic system are both guilty of crimes against humanity because of either the ultra feminism, to the point millions of lives were taken, along with the ultra masculinity of the male, millions upon millions of people died. But when you have the balance of both the masculine and feminine principles, there's no need to dominate one to another. Hallelujah.
It's important, everything that you're saying, because it all links back to that very first image in the presentation. If you go back and take a look at that, you'll see. I'm gonna pull it up.
Stop it, DJ Genesis.
Real quick, and then we're gonna get back into the presentation.
I need for you just to fast forward like 50 seconds because he was a little low. So just fast forward just a little bit, then turn it back on. Right there.
You give off certain types of energies. When
That's
you're
fine.
around certain people, you know, especially those that align with you, you connect
A little bit
with
more,
them because
just a
you're
tiny bit more.
aligning. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where we are. When you're understanding.
Right there. Right there. That's fine.
Here's a question, because there's a lot of people in the chat that's I think Harwin especially wants to come up.
Well, they
how
can
far do you want to get into this before we allow people to come up?
They can come on after the show.
Okay, after
because because what happens is we won't get through the show. You know what I'm saying? After the show, then people can come on. That's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the thing is, I want to say this. I want to say this to the audience. Put me on the screen. Put me on the screen real quick. I want to say this to the audience. Rest in peace, rest in completeness to my late father. You know what I mean? He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot. And one of the things that he always taught me, he used to always say, boy, don't never bring a knife to a gunfight. And I'd be like, yo, Abba, why you always say that to me? And one day he sat me down and he explained. He said, never dialogue or just jump into a debate discussion without knowing what your opponent acknowledges. And that's what goes on with most of these shows. When a person is trying to present themselves, let the person first present everything. Then once it's done, then we dialogue. See, we got so caught up in ego, you know what I'm saying, that, okay, it's cool. We can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you have people that disagree with me, okay, I'm still going to live my life. You still going to live your life. So at the end of the day, I say, what you may acknowledge, are you able to produce? Like what I acknowledge, everybody knows. Over here, you got the Ancient Bantu Hebrew Israelite Awareness Center I've built. I've built the Hebrew Israelite Sovereign Nationalistic Farmhouse. I have here where I'm at this, as well as a guest house. Shout out to Professor James Small. He will be coming to see me shortly. You know, I've built a lot of things over here. The Kingdom of Yah jurisdiction here in Tanzania. So my thing is, at the end of the argument and the end of the discussion, If you are not building what you acknowledge, then it just becomes baseless. It just becomes what I call intellectual masturbation. We want to try to, intellectually destroy somebody. You know what I'm saying? First, okay, like the late Prince Asiel said, tell them, I give you 5 years, what you believe in. Build upon that, and 5 years later, let's see what you build on. That's the difference. I'm not one of them Hebrews that just come on social media and just talk. Y'all barely see me come on here. I'm a builder. I'm a builder in what I acknowledge. And they're the type of people that I respect. I respect people that build on what they say versus just intellectually masturbate. Anybody can make a YouTube podcast and just talk trash. But then I say, well, what are you building behind what you're talking? And there's nothing but void there. Then what are we discussing? So I want to get through this first. And then after that, then cats can, build. You know what I mean? I have no problem with that. But let's try to see, because one of the things that I see on 99.5% of these podcasts is people build on what they are. They destroy on what they disagree with. They never build on with the commonalities that we have. What commonalities do we have that we can build on? Disagreements would socially correct themselves as we're building. Most times things be so minute. You understand what I'm saying? But we focus and we channel so heavy on what we disagree with, we can't build shit. That's why we still keep having these discussions, because people are constantly focusing on what they disagree with. And the crazy thing about it is when they focus on that, they never give what I call a conflict resolution. Okay, we disagree. How do we resolve this so we can agree and move forward? That is never done on these discussions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to put myself in this situation where I'm going back and forth with my brothers and sisters about what they believe in. All right, what you believe in is what you believe in. But can you build a society like we built in Demona, regardless of what you disagree with? They live near a nuclear reactor. They're in Israel. That's not our land. Is that, even though it's northeastern Africa? All that is surface level. We talking about what we build. You know what I mean? Even if you disagree, there's something that you can abstract from that and build off of that. So let's try to be more agreeable to one another than disagreeable. Hallelujah.
That's a great point. I just want to see, I've changed my device a little bit. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
All right, perfect. Let's continue. Great point.
Right. So yeah, I think he makes a good point. It's like, we can agree to disagree, but he's trying to bring his argument to the table, and everything does not have to be an argument. Some things just like take it in and and that's all. So let's go.
Right. And most people that have these discussions, because y'all know it's all on social media, that I built some big edifices over here in Tanzania. So that's why y'all don't really see me on social media a lot like I used to when I was in the United States, because I'm building over here. So when you're building, you're seeing different people and different cultures, your perspective becomes different. You see what I'm saying? The world is bigger than we just on social media talking about, well, Adam doesn't mean that, or the woman was first, or the man was first. At the end of the day, we don't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw out as a collective body politic. And this is what we're doing over here as the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem and Demona, Israel, northeastern Africa. We have satellite communities all over Africa. So you can say, well, I disagree with that, but you ain't got nothing to give to the people. Let's say let's play a game. Let's say we destroy all the communities that we built over here in Israel, Tanzania, Ghana, Togo, Nigeria, all these satellite communities that are extension of what we're doing in Demona, Israel. Let's say we destroy all that. We destroy anybody that's building because we disagree. After we destroy, what do we have? What do you have to offer the people that's better? Versus you just sitting there saying, I don't agree with that, but you don't have nothing to offer. You cannot throw away 60 years of building. None of y'all can walk in the shoes of the late Prince Assia. I don't give a damn who you say you are. You understand what I'm saying? The things that that man did, y'all can't touch. The things that the late Ben Ami did, y'all can't touch. Even people that talk about Farrakhan, now I might not agree with everything Farrakhan say, but he's still a template in our community. We can't just sit back and say, because we disagree with certain things. He's done things to help and better the people on the evolutionary plane to become more consciously aware of what's going on today. You can't throw away the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Denmark Vesey, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Prince Asiel, Dr. Shalia, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, even though you may disagree with certain things, but these things were necessary for the time. And as we develop more and more as a people, whatever we don't need, things would socially shed away. You know what I mean? So it's no need to go back and forth when you're building. The only ones that go back and forth arguing over and over is those that's not building anything. When you're building, you don't have time to keep going back and forth. If I keep going back and forth, I ain't gonna have no time to build. I ain't gonna be able to take care of my 3 wives. I ain't gonna be able to take care of my 7 children. I ain't gonna be able to take care. I ain't tell you in the Pashadah. I'm working on my 4th wife. My last one. I'm done.
That's done. Okay. I'm not mad at you. I am not mad.
But what I'm saying is, we got to get out of this mind state that I want to come up there on the panel and just disagree with them. All right, you disagree with me. I'm still going to teach. What do you agree with? Because I guarantee you, if we focus on more what we agree with, what we disagree, it's going to socially correct itself as we're building. You think because I'm in a community setting that we all agree with each other? No. I'm in a community, we all Israelites over here, but we don't all agree 100%, but we're still building. So that's my whole point. I want to continue on where we left off. Hallelujah. You're at DJ Genesis. Press that play.
Press that, and you got to share it again. Genesis, you're muted, Genesis.
As you go back to where you left off at, take your time, Basim, because I can keep talking until you get there. So again, at the Mighty Hebrew University, we're bringing the male and female principle together, and we're holding both accountable and responsible. Because for a long time, you see on social media, women badging men, men badging women. No, everybody is going to be responsible, because we're going back to the Adamic consciousness, when both man and woman together were both responsible for their actions. On back to, let's see. Okay, so go to the next slide. So again, you see the shield of David. You see man and woman. We bringing them back into focus. This is what we come into. We bring in man and woman back, okay? Because right now, for a long period of time, we've been under this menticide that one dominates the other. What I'm here to tell you is one can't exist without the other. Prior to man and woman, we were androgynous. And that same, but them polarities was there. So even in the state of being androgynous, or what you would call asexual, the male and female principle was still there, sharing the responsibility. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. You see this same principle right here. You see the male and the female. They always share this together. You cannot escape, Jake. Woman, you're not going to escape responsibility. Man, you're not going to escape responsibility. We are all responsible for our actions. We are now going back
to the Adamic sonship, which is inclusive of the daughtership. Next slide. Go to the next slide. As you can see right here, the androgynous being. One side male, another side female. You see the image right there. Okay? You see the energy that's surrounding it.
Stop it.
You see that fire, which is symbolic to the eternal.
I gotta read this comment. This is for you, Blue Devil J. You said asexual means non-sexual. You should really look up the word before you use it. Now, that will be correct in the literal sense in the dictionary, but we're talking about in the esoteric sense. When I speak asexual, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's good to listen to somebody's understanding before you make a statement. If DJ Genesis type up, what does asexual being mean in the esoteric sense? There's an esoteric understanding when we talking about our cosmic selves, and we talking non-sexual, we mean non-physical, but the male and feminine principle was there. Notice I keep saying male and feminine, male and female principle. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you see, there it is right there. That's what I mean. So we gotta stop attacking, because I'm not coming in it. There it is. See? Yeah. There it is right there. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't get into these discussions with like argumentative discussions, because when that man said, well, you're using it wrong. No, I'm not. I am not using it wrong. I am saying that in the esoteric sense, that the asexuality is talking about transcending all physical biology. And as it says, representing the preservation, transmutation, and unification of eternal spiritual energy. So you can't call it a male, you can't call it a female in the physical sense, even though the male and female polarities existed, okay? Then from the asexual, then it transformed as time progressed into the physical Zakarwa Nikiva, male and female. So let's continue. So you know, I want people to come up that's building things like that we can use. Verse, oh, I just disagree. That's what I'm saying. I'm just showing a point right there. Before you say that's wrong, you should say, well, what do you mean by that? Once you say, what do you mean by that? Then we can expand more and expound more. And if we continue to let it play, then you'll see, boom. You know what I'm saying? I understand exactly what he's saying. So continue on. You can let it play. Well, hold on. Blue Devil said one thing. You all with the chapter. Hold on. Stop. Stop. Much respect to you, Blue Devil J. He said, "You right, Prince. I should have." I think he meant to say, "You're right, Prince. I should have clarified the definition," or something of that nature. So and it's not an attack on the brother. So I want to make that clear. It's no attack. I just want people to know that when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking on a surface level. And the brother said, what does sexuality or all this medical symbol have to do with Abraham being a Hebrew? That's all going to come, bro. Just relax. That's all going to come. Again, as I said before, I'm laying the foundation, because if we're talking about the story of Abraham, first thing got to be corrected is the foundation, the Bereshit, falsely called Genesis, the first and second chapter. After that's corrected, then you're going to see me get into Abraham, the Hebrew, and the Indus Valley connections of the Yadavas, going from the Indian subcontinent to what we now know as Mesopotamia, and then into Canaan land, et cetera, et cetera. All that's going to come, but we got to let the PowerPoint play out. So it's all going to come. Hallelujah. I'll continue on. So now, you see that Adam alone in the Garden of Eden, east of Lemuria, personifies the first sexual innocent humanity, which the Adam and Kawa, falsely called Eve, because Eve is totally Greek. The name is Kawa. Together typify the first separation of male and female. The production of Kawa, again miscalled Eve, from the side of the Adam is a Hebrew allegorical description of this process. Chapter 2 of the scroll of Bereshit of Torah Constitution continues the description of both the psychological condition and the bodily development of Edenic Lemurian Elohim beings. The Adam was pure, unconscious of sex, because instinctively self-reproductive. The Adam was innocent of passion. This condition of human purity and the innocence are symbolized by the Garden of Eden, east of Lemuria itself. Next slide. The state of, now we got to go into the state of the soul before the awakening in activity of consciously exercised procreative power. Now let me correct that, because I put up there procreative power. I meant to write pro-emanated power, because in all essence, there is no creation. There is only emanation. Nothing is created. Everything is just transformed in different forms, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only can be transformed. And let me even correct that, because energy goes back to the Greek word energos, which only means to move. It is only describing a being or a force that's moving. So this forceful or this powerful energy, which is pure consciousness, cannot be created nor destroyed. It only can be transformed into different vibrational lights. Okay, when the vibration speeds up, we talking science, right? When vibration speeds up, then what happens? Matter becomes indensed. Okay, but when it slows down, it condenses. It becomes more solidified. So the formation of the woman, of the Adam, while asleep in the garden, is allegorical, as the original Hebrew shows. The deep sleep refers to both the nascent mentality and the awakening, inactive pro-emanated power. Okay, this is unconscious upon the ground. The Adam represents the human race at the first period of the Bereshit, of the encasement of the Elohim or the Allahayim in human form. This newly enclosed dense matter, the Adam was earthly. The Adam's task was to accustom themselves, not himself, but themselves, to imprisonment within relativity inert physical substances, and gradually to overcome its resistance. Go to the next slide. Everybody was wondering, damn, what the mighty Hebrew believe? Because I never expounded on what I acknowledged as a Hebrew Israelite sovereign national when it comes to spirituality and my understanding of Torah and Tanakh. I kept it strictly Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism. But then when I start seeing the literalism, people running around making all these crazy doctrines, I said, shoot, let me do some correction here, because I see people really don't know even they really don't understand archaic Hebrew symbolism. They don't understand archaic symbolism. They don't understand pre-Diluvian civilizations. They think the civilizations that they've been studying going back 6,000 plus years, these are the first civilizations, when in fact they're not. Okay, so now the first Edenic Lemurian Elohim bodies in human form were in fact gigantic, with a minimum of nervous organization and activity. This is also supported by primary sources from both the Tanakh and anthropology, and even those evil ones in the many occult traditional secret societies know that the statements that are being made today on this show, on Global Media Inc., is in fact factual. Okay, it is said that our Edenic ancestors of Lemuria sluggishly and clumsily moved through tropical vegetation, impelled only by the desire for food. Okay, and the instinct for self-preservation. It is said that reproduction was unconscious and passed through both sweat-borne and or porous stages. Now let me explain this. What would happen with these first humans 34.5 million BCE? Because they were gigantic, they would sweat. And when they would sweat would form into a shell-like substance. This is how they gave birth unconsciously.
and then inform, create the androgynous beings that will continue on to exist. The deep sleep that you see in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, okay, now you seeing it being explained in depthness with is going on in Genesis 1:21, which the Hebrew word is to elite, which means to revert back. This is what you're seeing. And now 16.5 million BCE, now we see the separation of the male and female, or what you would call Zachar wa Nekiva, male and female polarities separating. This is what you see. Okay. So it is said that reproduction, as I said, was through oporious stages. Now, this condition, go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. As we know that this condition that we know that was taking place in the garden with these Lemurian Elohim beings in human form are typified by the Adam in the deep sleep in the Garden of Eden. The life force was present, however, and active within the first Elohim physical beings, even though, okay, unrecognized, very gradually a change, which was both physical and psychological, began to occur. Physically, one principle, sex attribute, began to predominate over the other. That was the male faculty right there that was dominating. Okay. Psychologically, awareness, okay, predominate the other. Psychologically, awareness of opposite polarity was expressed. That was the feminine principle. So you have the male polarity dominating physically, and you have the female principle dominating through the recognition of the male principle dominating psychologically. Okay. So now, awareness of opposite polarity was expressed as either the positive or the negative currents in the life force became predominant in individuals. These two processes brought to an end of the male and female principles within the Adam, the firstborn of the first blood, into the establishment upon this plane of separate male and female forms. Since these generated out, next slide, because this is power. We're talking about real power of understanding Hebrew culture from an Eastern, Hebraic, Arabian, Indus Valley thought process. This bronze or black seed or racial progenitors who contain the attributes of male and female sexes in principle. The description of the formation of Kawa, which called Eve from the side or the rib of the Adam, is appropriate as an allegory. The reference to the rib of the Adam has also been interpreted as an indication of the procedure of the descent from the ascent of the Yah mind into denser and denser forms had accumulated in incarnation in solid material bodies or coats of skin, as you see in Bereshit or Genesis, miscalled Genesis 3:21. This involved the production by nature of the supporting bony structure, of which
Stop it. Oh my God. Come on, dog. You can't fuck with me, dog. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. What? I will smash your belief. I know I'm an elder now. I'm 50 now.
You can still celebrate that. You don't have just because you're an elder.
I went back. I'm trying to get where y'all at. Y'all blinging. Look, yo. Y'all blinging. I'm trying to bling a little bit. But I'm saying, right? Do y'all hear what I'm saying, man?
Nice.
Listen. See, social media is powerful, man. It's very powerful. You know what they did to y'all? I'm talking to the brothers and sisters out there, not to like an individual person. Myself included, we're all included in what people now call the matrix, okay? But you know what they done? They gave y'all a mind state to perceive people and to question people with preconceived ideas. Now, what do I mean by that? If you look at most of the comments, right? Not all the comments, but most of the comments that's in contention, their questions are defined by a Western standpoint of the Bible. That's the problem. In reality, most don't even know that they have been conditioned and basically blindly still following the oppressor's religions without saying that they're in that religion, just by the way of the preconceived questions. They want me to be up here like, yeah, Esau is the white man, and you know, and that might have some truth to it. You know, he might be, a continuation. It all depends on the context and the content of discussion, right? Now, when you come into a conversation with a preconceived idea of a person, most of the time that person loses the battle, because there's a lot of heavy hitters in the Hebrew community, man. I'm trying to tell you, that's not on social media. I'm talking about real scholars. And I've brought some of these scholars, Napal Shaddai. Let me tell y'all something about Napal Shaddai. Y'all really got a scholar up here. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all think y'all know, but y'all don't. All right. So I was over in Napal Shaddai, I tell you, because she did her presentation live that Dr. Kajriel bin Yahuda put together. And I was actually over there in Israel. Was I not, Nepal? While
Yes,
you
you
was
were.
doing the presentation with them, right? So you had, what was yours about? Yours was about Kemet. I know it has something to do with Kemet.
Yes, it was about Kemetic parts in the Torah, in the Tanakh.
That's a fact. Right, that's a fact. And it was so powerful when you did the presentation before that Dr. Kajriel bin Yahuda and the scholarship body of the School of the Prophets Institute and Dimona, Israel, Northeastern Africa said, you got to get in contact with that sister for us, right? And get her on this presentation. She was on a State of the World forum.
Yeah.
Now, this State of the World forum is a global forum all over the world with all Hebrew, all different types of scholars, Muslims, Jewish, Christian, but it's ran by the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. But they get these scholars all over the world and they bring their understanding, but it's so respectful, even though it's differences, but the commonalities are so like there that you can't deny it. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is
it's ecumenical. It's
ecumenical.
Yeah.
Facts.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I hear things and I'm saying to say all this, I'm giving y'all a perspective that I know y'all really agree with what I'm saying, but because it's coming from a Hebrew template,
right?
You say, nah. You say, damn, in principle, Mighty Hebrew is correct. If we actually just take away the words, gang, we can hear y'all, don't we? Take away all the words, damn, what he's saying is true. Because in reality, a man can't exist without a woman. A woman can't exist without a man, period. We need each other.
Period.
So that balance is there. So if I'm saying, damn, Ha-Adam don't really mean man, because what y'all did by making Adam, I'm gonna give it to you, Sister Nepal, but I gotta say this.
Bring it out. I love it.
The Strong's Concordance, looking at the word Adam, and it says man, what it does is it takes the woman from out of the equation. But if you take the actual meaning of Ha-Adam, meaning the firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms, it includes the woman. Ha-Adam is neither masculine nor feminine. That's the asexual being that the masculine and feminine principle resides in. But as the time starts to develop more and more, the separation of the principles become sexes. This is simple. This is simple. And all you got to do, if you don't want to use Ha-Adam, then use your word. Then use your word that is expressed in your culture. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, Sister Nepal, before you press play.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. People don't listen to understand or reason. People listen to attack. And that's dealing with cognitive dissonance. Most of these people, when they hear these ideologies, these thought, these think pieces, these belief systems, or these actualities, they don't listen to understand, they listen to attack. And since they're facing cognitive dissonance, the only thing that you're doing is pull aparting their reality. And since they want to keep in a certain framework, then anything that you say needs to be applicable to their own understanding and their consensus on the reality. But when you go outside of their consensus or their box or their framework, then that's when this is when the provocateurs come up. And then people in the comments saying, oh, I don't agree with that, or I don't do this. But if you listen to the man, or you listen to Prince in his totality, then maybe your perspective can be changing, your understanding can be updated. You see what I'm saying? So I'm speaking to the comment section. Just chill out. Stop saying what you don't understand and what you disagree with. He's not asking the audience to say, hey, is there anybody that disagree and we can combat that? He's speaking to give a perspective that can update your understanding. Thus, you don't have to deal with cognitive dissonance. Thus, you don't have to keep saying what you don't agree with.
And listening. Thank you. So I do want to say this to the panel that we have here. I love it. It's a great vibe. We came together and we are focusing on what we do resonate with, not what we don't resonate with. So that's what my Prince Charlene Dean, Mighty Hebrew, is putting out there. I want to say shout out. I call them, I call them the darkest minds of the light, and you are one of the darkest minds of the light.
And so, you remember when they was coming at you about that title, trying to say, what's that, witchcraft? Sorcery?
That's witchcraft. She's a witch.
Can I add to what she just said? If you look at darkness, in darkness is the ultraviolet spectrum. So that is actually light. Exactly. It's not oxymoronic of what she just said. It's not an oxymoron. The first light would be darkness. Go ahead.
So see, go ahead. Come in.
When they come at you and say, what's that darkest mind of the light? You know what you tell them? Tell them just to close their eyes and ask them what do they see.
Thank you. Woo!
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
There you go. You go
because you're going to see mental light.
You're going to see mental light. You're going to see everything when you go. That's the thing about what you're teaching, and I've always put you on another level at the top shelf with your teachings. We do need to, if we can, if you want to, redefine what is Hebrew, what is Israel, and you are paramount when it comes to an example of what I follow behind you in your teachings. I'm actually a student of yours when we say you're not typical. You're not the typical cookie cutter, oh, let's just put this out here on the surface. You go so deep, which is profoundly dark, and you open the eyes of those who want to be enlightened. So sometimes people kick against what they are afraid of because they're afraid of the dark. But if you hold on, you sit still, you'll find out that it is very enlightening. I want to say, go back to what you're teaching about the male and female. This is beautiful because this is a vibration that we've been putting out. Myself, Genesis, recently, we did a great interview with an amazing chief today on Genesis channel, Dr. Kumari, talking about divine feminine energy. But see, what I want to point out in this teaching that you're doing about the Merkabah and the light, you are not separating. I want to get back to that word asexual. You're not separating the whatever we call ourselves as the one individual in existence, right? You're saying these are these manifestations of energy. Correct. And here we have one whole existence with different manifestations of energy, which is male and female. So I absolutely love this. It's so great. They're fighting against it. These are called death throes. They're in the throes of death. We got to kill the old man.
play a little bit the devil's advocate, but we need those to disagree. See, everything is relevant. You know what I'm saying? If now we're talking on levels, so on that level, it's relevant because that strengthens us to continue on, in our research. You know what I'm saying? Because if there's no challengers, then you understand what I'm saying? So that's necessary. Everything is necessary. You know what I mean? But there was a statement that was said, DJ Genesis, if you could put it up, it's talking about Yaki. No, not that one. I should get with, it says mighty Hebrew should converse with Yaki awaken. Yeah, right there. That brother is deep with the knowledge, right? Let me tell y'all something. I know Yaki awaken personally. I know him personally. He's one of our Hebrew Israelite brothers. He's from out there in St. Louis, all in them over there in them areas. He's with, he came in the ranks with people like, the brother that dealt with the Owaspi, Maccabee, all of them, they was all like in the same group together. Anybody that knows them.
Okay.
So a lot of the Indus Valley history of the Hebrews going back to the ancient Yadavas, I was giving that information to Yaki. Like Yaki is one of my young brothers. You know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, I'm proud of that brother. You know what I mean? Because, and I want to say this, a lot of people, they try to say he is that and throw little stuff out there. I'm saying the brother, he researches. He researches, and I'm not saying everything is 100% correct, but to see a mind that young and on the level of health to that level and challenging those that halt to put us in this captivity. And notice I'm saying halt because the reality is we put ourselves in captivity. But that's another story and another topic. But we know because of our ego. See, I keep going back to that ego, man. We put ourselves in captivity. And through that, there were others that helped to participate that. And that's who you see today, who you call the so-called white man, the so-called East Indian, wherever your environment is that you were placed in captivity. But everything that's happening on this planet is because of the ego. And that's just a fact. And when
I want to say this.
Real quick, Genesis, I'm just going to say what you said about the prison. I talked to you about this when I interviewed you at Prince Charland Dean's home. May he rest in eternal peace and power. We put ourselves, not us, on the channel.
Prince Asiel.
Did I say Prince Asiel? Did I say Prince Asiel?
You said me, Prince Charland Dean.
Oh, no, shoot. I meant to say Prince Asiel. My bad. Okay. Reign in peace and power, Prince Charland Dean. But I meant to say Prince Asiel. May he rest in peace and power. Right. We talked about how people put themselves into the book. They don't draw out of the book what they need. They trap themselves in that prison, which is that prism. They put themselves in the book instead of drawing the information and connecting with the universal consciousness, which I say the universal mind of God, that's in the information. So I just wanted to jump in and add that, yes, get out of the prison. You are the man of 1,000 books, Prince Charland Dean, and you pull out of the book what you need. You never trap yourself in any book that you study. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you for letting me say that, Genesis.
But I really want to show
shout
something.
Out to my husband. What?
Yeah, I was going to say something, but Genesis want to say something. Go ahead, Genesis. I'll wait.
No, go ahead, because I want to show this information because we've been talking about the Hebrew Israelite aspect of things, but I do have Ifa like Nigerian, but I'm gonna say this is that this is coming from a white man that is a Babalawo or Awo.
You don't even have to say that, Genesis, because we don't even.
No, because I know people are gonna say,
"Who cares? Who cares what they say?"
Listen, we on another plane right now, so we're gonna speak our language. It ain't about color, race, none of that. When you dealing in
so I really want to show you guys how these things come together. And I remember I did the whole debate with the Hebrew Israelites that Ifa and Hebrew, like the Torah, it's like it's no verses. It's the same thing, right? So I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna show you guys what he says. Let's go.
In Egypt, at the three great pyramids above the underground city. Those pyramids are connected to a series of stone circles. Look up Michael Tillinger Adams' calendar. You'll see pictures of the stone circles that are connected to the pyramids in Egypt. The pyramids in Egypt are connected to stone circles that run all the way from northern Egypt to South Africa. And those stone circles are pictures, or graphic images of resonant sound patterns. Each of those stone circles is about 50 feet across, connected by what you call a highway. And so far, Michael Tillinger has documented over 10 million of those circles. So the pyramid complex, there it is. See that right there? Right there? There's 50 million of those in East Africa, all in a straight line directly under the pyramids. That is a huge machine that was involved in terraforming. The ancient Africans literally shaped the earth and made it livable. That's part of the wisdom and the legacy of ancient Egyptian metaphysics and ancient Ifa. Ifa has the key to how to terraform the planet. That information can be used to terraform the other planets in our solar system. That information is known by the few who control the many. I know that they know because I grew up with them. I know what they know. They know that I know, and they're not happy with me sharing about it. So the point is, as fantastic as that sounds, as hard to believe as that sounds, that whole system of terraforming is predicated on the ability of the initiate priest to blend their consciousness with the consciousness of the planet itself. The process of learning how to do that is called Iwa Pweli. People say it's good character. No, the word Iwa Pweli means I come to greet the earth. Iwa Opwe Ile. Iwa, the coming, Opwe, the greeting, the spirit of greeting, Ile, the earth. So we come to greet the earth to learn how to work with the earth, to form a environment that supports unconditional love. It's not complicated. So arguing that what I'm saying is not possible, okay, you can believe whatever you want. You can argue with me about it. I'm not inclined to argue much. But the other thing we can do is see if it's true. You understand? We can connect. Here's the point I'm making. And I think this might be a good place to call it a day. The point I'm making for today is, if you and I pray together, it's not twice as good, it's 3 times as good. If 10 people pray together, it's not 10 times as good, it's 100 times as effective. 16 people pray together, and I've seen this in Africa many times. When 16 people are praying together, they're all on the same page, they're all have the same intention, they're all coming from a place of unconditional love. They're not worried about being jealous about who's in charge, who knows more, and who does it correctly. And they're all on the same page, functioning in a state of prayer. Physical reality changes as they speak, which would confirm your idea that you live on a different earth. If you're engaged in effective prayer, the earth itself will change in front of your eyes as you speak.
Stop it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Did you
100%? That's what. Yep. 100% is exactly what you're saying, Prince.
Yes, he said he been in Africa, right? And he used an example of, if you got one person praying, you know what I'm saying, that's power. But if you get more, it becomes more effective. And they all coming together. They not bickering over who know what, who right, who wrong, this, that, whatever. But they come in this common knowledgeable principle of coming in this mind state to use their mental powers to be one with the cosmic universe around them. And in that, it also shows the power of the mind from Earth even shaping the universal other solar systems, et cetera, et cetera. And remember, I said we don't come from the universe comes from us. So once the residue of the cosmic body of Ha'adam Chakma started to, shed itself, that formed into the solar system. So when this man, this Ifa priest said that these people, when he was breaking down the pyramids, and from northern and northeastern Africa to southern Africa, and how that they were communing through vibration, mental vibration. And they do it even to this day through the evidence that he was saying through his experience, seeing different people in Africa praying. The more people, the more power. And in that turn, things can happen, which is in fact true. That's why if you really look at the scripture, the creator Yahweh didn't say to us that other powers didn't exist. Yeah, he said it might have been a lower standard from the thought, but there are other powers in the multiverse. So, yo, that Ephah priest is 100% correct what he's saying. You can continue on, DJ Genesis. Then after him, we can get back to where I was at. But yeah,
so I want to I wanted to get into where he gets into the Merkabah and how that actually the Merkabah is
how long is it going to be?
It's coming up. It's about it's coming up really quick. So let's just
all right, go ahead.
Negative people that are trying to keep us subdued by huge numbers. I mean, it's like less than 1% of 1% of the population is controlling everything. And the only question is, why are we letting them do that? And we're letting them do that because we're buying into the propaganda of the narrative that teaches us that we're worthless, we can't do anything, we can't be effective, and we have to violently react to anybody who disagrees with us. None of that's true at all, not even a little bit. So we have to consider the value of the alternatives. And I would say the values of the alternative are worthy of consideration and clearly expressed in Odu Ifa. So next.
So I'm sorry.
It'll take a little bit of a minute.
Okay.
But the entire structure of creation is rooted in what's called a Merkabah. You know what a Merkabah is?
Yes.
Odu is a two-dimensional symbolic representation of an energy pattern called a Merkabah. A Merkabah is two counter-rotating three-sided pyramids within a torsion sphere. All right. So that structure is the fundamental structure of subatomic particles. Hence, the structure of every single thing in creation is based on the Merkabah. Now, the Merkabah, if you understand that personal consciousness is not there, it is not our consciousness.
That's a fact. And that's what's on the back of the picture that DJ Genesis made for the presentation with me. That is the Merkabah light right there. That is Ha'adam Chachma. That is the asexual being I'm talking about. Okay? That's the asexual being that I'm talking about. That's sexless. There's a difference from male and female principle versus male and female sexes. Do y'all understand? So when I talk about Adam HaChachma being that Merkabah light, and within it is the male and female principle, or the duality, or these dual dimensions, or the subjective, which later will become objective, right, into male and female sexes. That's what I'm talking about. That is what the story of Adam or Ha'adam and Eve, really Ha'adam wa Kawa story is talking about. But that's deep. Let the elder and stop saying, I see y'all saying white Baba. Okay, a white Baba and what? I mean, what does that got to do with truth? The truth cannot be, y'all got to get out of this mind state, you know what I'm saying? White and black in essence. Yes, them things in a conversational setting is necessary, but this is not the set for that. Now we want to talk about,
if he done did the research to find out this information,
right? He did the research.
What color he is? Shouts out to him. And he bringing it to us. He dropping it to us, telling us what it is.
That shit.
Real quick, Genesis and Mr. Prince. It's not that fact. It's the fact that people want to associate color with certain belief systems, right? And if another race of individual come through and speak on something that people hold dear to them, right, then they feel like they have nothing, right? So this is where you get the people that's talking about color and what's a white dude talking about it. It don't matter. You didn't do they didn't do the research. He did. It is what it is.
For real. Wrote the books. Went to Africa, got initiated, did the research, wrote the book. Let's go.
The world with the consciousness of the creator itself. And so that the consciousness of the creator comes into the physical world through the use of geometric patterns. The most fundamental geometric pattern through which the Creator speaks to us is called a Merkabah. So the Odus that we use in the binary system is a shorthand. It's a two-dimensional way of drawing three-dimensional energy patterns, which become very complex once you go into third, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions, almost impossible to draw. So we shorthand that. We make that simple. We put it into a two-dimensional format. So if you look at the Merkabah and you see that the three-sided pyramid has 4 points of contact with the circumference of the sphere, and each of those points of contact, 3 at the base, 1 at the top, 4 points of contact, can be either opened or closed. And if it's open, it allows for electromagnetic energy to come into the sphere and generate a particular resonance, and the resonance then generates geometric form. This is the meaning of the universal phrase, in the beginning was the word, not the word, the resonance created by a Merkabah, the Merkabah being the portal through which God's consciousness comes into the world. So the point being is that if you're doing Ifa and you're marking the binary system on the tray, that becomes a portal for the consciousness of God. And when you go into an altered state called Elah, you connect with that consciousness. And it's that connection that allows you to interpret the Odu and effectively do prayers that will cause elevation and transformation. So the point that you're making that's been overlooked, which is important, is the binary system used to program computers. I'm going to draw you a picture. Maybe it'll make sense. All right. You do computer programming? You know what that looks like?
I do. And that's why I was trying to say, when I talk about like that whole experience of like near death, it almost is like a computer. Like when you go play Grand Theft Auto, right? You might pass on, but you get another life.
I'm going to show you something. So this is what computer binary system programming looks like. It's typically read, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's read from right to left.
Oh, wow.
In sequence like that, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what the computer people don't realize is even though this was designed to work like that, it still works like this. So this is a series of Odus that are maps of consciousness that have been coded into computers from day one of their invention. And that consciousness controls those machines in ways that we barely understand. And we better understand it quickly because they're fixing to be manipulated by people that have no sense of ethics at all.
Is that what AI is? Is that the ability to go?
AI is
Stop.
people attempt by some really dumb people to explain what I do.
Stop that. You see them. You see this what the Matrix was about.
100%.
You remember in the I got to get on the screen for this. Come on, yo. So when you look at the movie The Matrix, you got the real world and the artificial world. The real world was Zion. It was Zion. Now you got Morpheus. You get this blue, this red pill, but it was all predicated on computer data. And basically what the Baba is saying, what he's saying is that if these computer wizards knew that this computer data or this code, you can go into Ifa and the science or the mathematics behind Ifa, and the people that dealt with this stuff been knowing this stuff for thousands, if not millions of years. Now, one might argue and say, well, man haven't been on the planet for millions of years. I mean, big to differ, but I ain't even gonna go there yet. You know, and I needed to say this one thing because I don't want to forget, and I've seen the Pasha die about Sarnetta. See, y'all don't really know what's going on, but now you see Sarnetta when he challenges Bible believers. Y'all think he challenging y'all to lead the Bible. No, he's challenging y'all to show y'all that most of y'all that acknowledge certain things, it don't make sense. What I'm doing is showing the same verses that he's using, how y'all might take them out of context, is being put in proper context and in content. And when you do that, when you listen to presentations from the Pasha, you ain't going to disagree because you're going to be like, oh, I know the correct understanding of that verse, but if I take it literal and Eve ate the apple, or instead of Kawa developing by the way of the brain, because when you look in the brain, you see the serpent. You see the serpent image in the brain. Am I lying?
You're not. Cook.
But I ain't going to talk about that.
No,
You
you
know what I'm
gotta
saying?
talk about it.
Could Oculus say something real quick
You
before I
gotta
mute
talk
back
about
up?
it. Because we got
Oculus,
brother Oculus, I promise. I just want to say, because when you talk about it, see the whole thing about how people want to disagree, I can relate to what you're conceptualizing because it doesn't really go against what I conceptualize. So I can see but you're talking on this layer, I'm on this layer, but it's still one onion. So yes. Anyway, thank you, Oculus.
It's like
yeah, you
the limbic.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, isn't it called the limbic brain?
The limbus.
Limbus.
What is it? And I'm trying to get the, there it is right there. So if y'all see, right? It's a serpent, the limbic brain, right?
The limbics, yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is, could that have something to do with the fruit being ate, certain consciousness developed within the brain? Because remember, reality, how Adam was dealing with instinctive will. So
damn, you just heard something. Wait, you unlocked something. I talk about the expensive tissue hypothesis and how that study, that hypothesis, which is scientific, it relates to eating, but in the story, it's symbolic when they say eating, but it's still, when we go to science, when they ate, their consciousness evolved.
Facts.
So that is so dope right there. Their consciousness
But hold on. Here's the other thing.
Yes,
I want to
yes.
really bring this into divination because of some reason that divination is a bad thing. All he is talking about is how divination is really like what AI is. Like, right? That's all AI and divination. When you type your question into a computer.
Correct that, Genesis. Correct that. Divination's not bad. Why y'all saying that?
Who said
people
that?
say that that's what the Bible said, right? Go ahead. I'm gonna let Oculus go ahead. Let Oculus go.
Listen, divination have a negative by way of people understanding in the Heliobiblios, divination have a negative connotation to it. So where there's any form of divination, people think that if you're doing E5, if you're doing witchcraft, if you're doing any of these things, if you doing bones, right? Shaking bones on the cardboard, tarot, any of these things, they think these things are negative. Right? So she's absolutely right. And what I was going to say is what he was depicting when you saw those straight lines, right? Reading left to right, that represents in binary computing ones and zeros, ons and off, the masculine and the feminine. The male being the straight line, the phallus, male energy, logic energy, but the female being the circle in binary computing, right? The circle represents curvature, represent fluidity, flow, emotion, etc. The reality, and I ain't trying to get too out of control with it, but this reality that we actually exist in, which I call actuality, it represents trinary computing. Right? Which quantum computers actually operate off of, which is a sequence of 1 through 9. This is what Lloyd Strahan or Dr. What's his name? King Simon, who's a part of the House of Consciousness, right? These individuals dealing with numerology.
Right.
Because if you can understand computers by way of binary computing, how when you put that information in the inside of that computer, you type something in, and you're looking for it to dispense something out, it's going to compute back to itself as 10001110011, right? The reality has an operating code. So if you want to extrapolate what you need from this reality, then maybe King Simon or Lloyd Strahan dealing with numerology can help you get what you need from the reality because you understand the operating system, just like the Matrix.
That's a fact.
Even in the Torah and in the Bible, they throw lots. Those are numbers. That's the same idea.
Honey, when you start a basketball game,
right, which is another form of divination.
Were you about to talk about throwing lots?
Basketball or football game.
Who said that? When you said like you throw lots, that's another form of divination.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you can't say you believe the Bible, but then you say you don't believe in witchcraft. You don't believe in.
But divination was a feminine thing to do. It was not the
I
masculine
just want
that
to
did
say
this.
to the audience,
That is the reason why it got demonized. Is
I wanted
because
to
it was the women that were doing divination, and then when they actually demonized them, then it became the males that were doing it. That's where the whole story of the Sibyls really come from. The Sibyls did divination. The Sibyls, the virgins, the Vestal.
Hey man, I gotta mute up.
They
You know
knew
why?
how
You
to
know why?
divine.
Genesis. You know why I gotta mute up? So I gotta mute up. But I want to say this: all of us must be water energy up on this panel. I'm a Scorpio, so all of us must be, because the fluidity, the flow of how this stuff is done is nice.
You got like two water. You got the two male is water and two women is air.
Wow.
So you have two like your water, and then your water or your Pisces, and then you have a Cancer.
Now I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio.
Scorpio water. He's a Cancer, and I'm a Gemini, and so is Nepal.
Yeah, let's let Mighty Hebrew want to get in here and say something. I just
want to say something because it was put out there like, Hebrews, we don't believe in divination. I'm saying, are y'all really reading the Torah, man?
No.
It's
I can answer it. No.
It never said for the Levitical priests or the Kohanim that they couldn't deal with divination. It don't say that anywhere. You know what it say? It say don't do it like the nations around you. So all it's saying is if we doing divination, it's going to be within our cultural and social construct. It's not going to be like how the other nations made it, because you got divination. Remember, that's universal. It's universal. That's number one. And number two, you got different societies that do different things. So like Nepal Shaddai took the words out of my mouth, casting lots. You know what I mean? That is a form of divination. It's not even a form of divination. It is divination. It's just divination in Hebrew culture.
Prophecy is divination.
Yeah.
Real
so
quick,
I just want to say this.
Man, real quick, because I got to mute because I got to pick somebody else. I just want to say this real quick. And the reason why I brought up trinary is because what they exclude when they dealing with binary is just the male and the feminine principle. When you deal with trinary, you're dealing with the three. You deal with the male, the female, and the child, which creates neutrality, which creates balance. See, if I say there go a child running across the street, nobody on this panel can tell me whether it was male or female because I use the word child or kid. That is a neutral point. And in this reality, listen, and in this reality, everything is about balance. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is no up. There is no down. It is about balance. Everything that can happen will happen in this reality, and it's all necessary for overall balance. This is why our emotions in this reality do not matter, because your emotions take you in extremes. So, for example, like I told Genesis on another panel, on the opposite side of love, you got hate. On the opposite side of hate, you got love. You ever fought somebody, Prince, and he was your worst enemy, and after you beat his ass, or you beat him up, after you beat him up, he became your best friend?
Fact.
You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying about this reality, there is nothing that can transpire in your life that is bad. There is nothing that can transpire in your life that is good. It is all balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ashe.
So DJ Genesis, put that quote back up. Zodiac is demonic knowledge. Put that back up, man. Come on, man.
Man, we dealing with some peewees in there. We dealing with peewees in the chat, man. These peewees.
I know. Hold on. I put that up on purpose. You do know there's a difference from the zodiac versus astronomy. Astrology. You know there's a difference from the zodiac versus astrology. You didn't know that the word zodiac goes back to the Hebrew word zadeh, which means the way, the path. So when you go to books like Job and all that, and they talking about the bear and Orion and all that you see, you talking about the zodiac. The zodiac was a part of Hebrew cosmogenesis. You're getting astrology confused with the zodiac. The zodiac exists within the circumference of the solar system. What you talking about? You see, no, astrology. Now, you say the Bible to astrology. No, we're not talking about astrology. We're correcting somebody by saying that the zodiac is demonic. How? When you can read the books of Job, and Job talks about the zodiac. What are we talking about?
Well, we're letting them suck us into the lower room, because what's demonic anyway? Please, let's get back on track over here. He's talking about basic light. We're going to walk you down slowly.
There's no such thing as demonic.
You're bringing your programs in, and we're jumping all around, because when we say Bible, zodiac, mythology, everything is one from the beginning. And I did want to hear. We're 2.5 hours in. I want to hear more about the Merkabah in the teachings that you and that she's showing the Baba.
Once she finishes in this part, then she can continue with where we left off.
We want to get back on track, because we need to walk them down slowly.
Said, and work that to their advantage, and make sure you don't understand what this really means.
Go back. Sorry,
right.
he brings when he brings it up. Okay. Like you might pass on, but you get another life, and then
I'm going to show you something. So this is what computer binary system programming looks like. It's typically read, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's read from right to left.
Oh wow!
In sequence like that, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what the computer people don't realize is, even though this was designed to work like that, it still works like this. So this is a series of odus that are maps of consciousness that have been coded into computers from day one of their invention, and that consciousness controls those machines in ways that we barely understand, and we better understand it quickly, because they're fixing to be manipulated by people that have no sense of ethics at all.
Is that what AI is? Is that the ability to go?
AI is a feeble attempt by some really dumb people to explain what I just said and work that to their advantage, and make sure you don't understand what this really means. That's what AI is. And so we in Ifa have the key to explaining that. We have the key to working that to our advantage. We have the key to salvation. We have the key to the elevation of consciousness. We have the key to not be sold into slavery for the umpteenth millionth time. We have the key to transcend the narrative created by Trump, Musk, and Gates, and find our own purpose in life, find our own reason for existence, find our own creativity, and find our own joy in engaging with others in the act of unconditional love.
And you know what? And that's probably why, like, learning divination is important. Rather than going to AI to find your answers, you can actually use divination.
Listen, I read AI. You've seen AI has been explaining Ifa for the last year, okay? And the only way I get a taboo against using bad language. If I didn't have that taboo, I'd say
you want to cuss so bad, don't you?
AI is nonsense. If you believe any of their explanations of anything in Ifa, you're wasting your time, and you're not going to get anywhere, and you're going to think you're smart, and you're going to stay stuck, and it's all going to be, you're going to look back in your life and think, wow, I could have actually studied Ifa instead of dealing with this foolishness. So avoid that heartache and actually study Ifa. That's my point.
Do you have another question, Nala?
Yeah, I do have another question. So would you say that the Odu Meiji, like the foundation of the earth, the seas, the land, is built on the Meijis? And would when it comes specific to like a flower or a person, does it then split off to compounding Odus?
Oh yeah, no, sort of. The Meiji Odus are the foundation of all consciousness throughout creation. Have you been through Ifa initiation?
Yes.
Okay, so the ritual is this is the ritual in metaphysical terms. The person who's initiating you is going to invoke the Meiji Odus on your head, and then they're going to invoke Oshe Tura. Oshe Tura causes the Meiji Odus to copulate, giving birth to all other 240 Odus in the corpus, and all 256 Odus then become the basis of different streams of consciousness. So as a human being, rather than having 6 senses, you have 256 senses. And Ifa teaches you the technology how to zoom in on one of those streams of consciousness to assist you with a particular problem you're having at any given moment in your life. And so the solution to that problem comes by shifting the resonance in your brain, and the oriki that accompany those Odu are different frequencies. So there's 256 different frequencies which are expressed through the poetry of each of those Odus. And the real transformation is not God help us all from goat blood. The transformation comes from the shift in frequency. So let me give you an example. If you are a Native American shaman and you want to make rain, you go up on a mountain, you draw a circle, and you remember what it felt like the last time you got rained on. That shifts your consciousness into a particular frequency, and that frequency resonates with those patterns as they exist in creation and make it rain. And so that's true for the solution to every problem. You don't become wealthy by begging for abundance. That's a waste of time. That's just an acknowledgement of poverty. You become wealthy by standing in the residence of one who is successful in the world. And that resonance then attracts those who can support that effort and move your life along in a way that's productive. As long as you're not resonating with that vibration, your prayers are ineffective. Look at the holy Odu Oshe Meji is the Odu that gives power to our prayers. All right. So what does Oshe mean? It means the spirit of Ashe, the spirit of power, connecting with the spirit of power, being possessed with the power that's inherently part of your Ori, standing in that prayer and visualizing that which you think would make the world a better place.
Wow. That's amazing. Thoughts, guys? Thoughts?
That's perfect. That was great. That was great. That's exactly what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And that's going to get more into my presentation, how these first, Adamic beings in physical form and body, that's Elohim, they're going to be able to control the element. And he right there was breaking down the signs using the shaman a shaman as an example, going up to the mountain, making a circle, remembering the thought, because you remember that's the true UFO or the unidentified flying object, is the mind able to time travel beyond space in a sense of, time or so, or beyond time, and able to remember how it felt in that rain and then cause them vibrations to take place within the spheres and causing it to rain. That's why you have many stories from your Gentiles and explorers and conquerors that came amongst North America. They would see the shaman actually do these things. This stuff is well documented. You know what I mean? So what the man is saying is absolutely true. And as I proceed on in the presentation, I'm going to be breaking that same thing down, but just using it by the way of a Hebrew cosmological and Hebrew anthropological understanding. But the result in the end is the same at the end. That
is the part I wanted to say, is that people want to.
It's the same in principle. It may not be the same in cultural expression. Culture is going to happen because we know culture is social, is environmental, et cetera, et cetera. Isolation is involved.
Yep.
So things are going to,
especially for priests. Yeah, you have to isolate yourself, all this stuff.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm talking about a people when they express their cosmogenesis through their anthropogenesis. Like if you deal with a person from Nigeria and they practice Ifa, Yoruba, right? They practice Ifa. They're gonna talk about the cosmos based upon the environmental condition that they became encapsulated in and adaptable to. If you talk to a Buddhist monk in China or Japan, because of the social construct, that is the anthropogenesis, but the cosmogenesis of it is going to be understood through their cultural and environmental conditioning. And that's basically what the man is saying right there.
I want to play one last little thing too, when it really comes down to this. Allah and all these different things. Let's go into it.
That we never hear.
Okay, but Genesis, I just want to let you know before you play it. I have Sonetter call me, and I do need to we're going to probably be. He asked me when are we going to be closing it out with Mighty Hebrew stuff. So just letting you know, just time sensitive.
Oh
no, you guys can keep going, but I was just going to say I wanted to maybe let you know.
I was about to play his stuff, but I wanted to
I got you. No, I love this. I'm just letting you know he contacted me. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
You never tried to understand, and I would like to help initiate the process of looking at that as a profoundly important tool in our ritual process.
So what is the difference between Elah and Allah?
Elah, okay, that's a good linguistic question. The letter E is like a pronoun, all right? So E means the. So the word Elah is an elision of A. The letter E is pronounced A in Yoruba. And the word Allah. Allah is light. So Elah means the light, capital T, the light. Okay, but it's not the light of a light wave. It's the light of what the ancient Egyptians in their infinite wisdom called a longitudinal light beam. A longitudinal light beam is a light beam that functions at 432 hertz and which has no wave. It's a straight line. The light beam of Elah, unlike a light wave, which is a curly-Q thingy, the light of Elah gets stronger as it moves away from source. And as it moves away from source, it continues in the universe until it hits the edge of the universe and returns to its source. So it's a biofeedback system. So Elah is the key component for unleashing the potential for free energy that we find in the Odu Ijeogbe. So Elah is both a metaphysical principle, an important ethical concept, but it is also the fundamental idea with regard to what I call Ifa science and the ability to use alchemy to transform one element into another and make a better world. And the thing that's amazing is Spirit's going to give us this information whether we want it or not. Mediums of Elah can really explain all that in depth, but right now the best medium for Elah I've encountered who's explaining all the paleoscience of Odu Ifa is an actor named Terrence Howard. I'm not even sure he knows what Ifa is, but everything I've heard him say about science matches the liturgical Yoruba that describes Ifa in Odu Ifa. The other person who really had a handle on the Ifa understanding of Elah is Nikola Tesla. He used the concepts we find in Odu Ifa to generate free energy. Absolutely.
Wow. And I want to like make sure that we understand that Ifa has that understanding of free energy within the science of it. But you know, the thing is that like this is the reason why I got into it. I was like, man, this is really not just a religion. This is like it's a science within itself. So all right, so now let's go into like the rest of like the Mighty Hebrews thing, and then we'll like go. We have to do a part 2, you know, but let's go into. I just wanted like to take that time to like express the similarities in Ifa and like Merkabah, like Kabbalah. I believe that Kabbalah and Ifa are pretty much like brother and sister skipping down the street. Like when you go into like the Kabbalah and that thing, it's similar. And that's the reason why I think that Mighty Hebrew wanted to do a show together, because he wanted to show the similarities. But let's go into it.
Quote unquote so-called rib of the Adam may be taken as a representation. Here at the Mighty Hebrew University, we will show in our Hebrew anthropology section that what is stated above and what I'm saying today had to occur. Sources you can go to the Secret Doctrine by H.P. Blavatsky and lecture notes of the School of the Wisdom, Volume 1 by Godfrey Hudson. The reference to the Adam's rib as the basic substance from which Kawa was formed is deeply esoteric. It is said that the spinal column and the projecting rib together form a right angle or square. This is also the equal arm Hebrew symbol or the letter or the number Thal. As y'all can clearly see, forgive me, y'all. My asthma was bothering me a little bit. It's calming down now. It's a little hot in here. My Isha cooking. Also, give a shout out to my Nasheens, Kabari Adania, as well as Bathsheba, also known as Malakia Bathsheba. But all is well. So now, getting back to the point. So as we continue to build on this, we know that the equal arm of the Hebrew symbol, the number or the letter Thal, has ever been the symbol of the union, descending positive. Okay, we talking about the spirit, the vertical, entering negative, receptive, the all-producing matter, which is the horizontal. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, I'm just telling these people that I'm on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, family. Yes, because everybody's trying to hit me up too. Okay, now, getting back to what I was saying. So it forms the shield of David. It forms the shield of David. So now all creation occurs because remember earlier I showed all them images. And with all them images, it was the shield of David there. In ancient Hebrew, it's known as Ha-Shar Dawayat. Okay. And modern Hebrew is known as, Magan Ha-Shar Dawayat. And modern Hebrew is known as Magan David or Magan David. which is the shield of David. All creation occurs as a result of this penetration in the above sense of the horizontal by the vertical. And the process is symbolized by both the Hebrew letter Thal and the square that produce the shield of David. In the human skeleton, the spinal column in each rib form a right angle. Kawa, being feminine, is appropriately formed out of the horizontal arm of the Hebrew letter Thal. Thus, the shield of David helix shows clear the allegory about the combined dual polarity of the life force that was separated into two distinct manifestations. So all those talking about the shield of David is pagan. They don't know what they're talking about. They just don't. Let me tell you where that comes from, family. That comes from radical right-wing Christians that have a hate for the so-called Jews, okay? And because the so-called Jews use the shield of David as a logo or a symbol of their nationhood in the state of Israel, they came up with these concepts that it was the symbol of Moloch. It was the so-called star Moloch. And people ran with that. But there is no primary archaeological sources that show that the shield of David or the six-pointed shield of Adam is the star of Moloch. There is no evidence. The only thing that we're using is regurgitated Christian sources. That's what we're using. And when I say we, I'm talking about people that use these sources to justify the shield of David being pagan. The shield of David is dealing with scientific geometry. That's what it's dealing with. Thus, the shield of David helix shows clear the allegory about the combined dual polarity of the life force that was separated into distinct manifestations. These produced in both the physical and psychological worlds, oppositely polarized man and woman. Next slide. This is beautiful. Isn't this beautiful, Brother Bassel?
Brother, not only am I enjoying it and learning a lot, but so is everybody that's tuned into the live stream. Shout out to everybody that supports the Mighty Hebrew, the Mighty Hebrew University, and of course, www.themightyhebrew.com. The link to the website is in the chat. Yeah, the show is all yours, brother. I'm learning.
Okay, so women were not on the planet first. Stop the madness. Men were not on the planet first. Stop the madness. The Adam, or the first blood, or the firstborn, was neither male nor woman, but a being with male and female principles within the Adam. Later, the separation would occur, and now male, Zachar, and Nikubah, female, will become Ish, man, and Isha, woman. Let me read that again and say it again. So women were not on the planet first, nor were men first on the planet. The Adam, the first blood, or the firstborn, was neither man nor woman, but a being with male and female principles within the Adam. Later, the separation would occur, and now male, Zachar, and Nikubah, female, will become Ish, man, and Isha, woman. Men and women were brought forth at the same time. Next slide. As we can see right here in the Hebrew around it, the androgynous being, the asexual being right here. Now, we're not saying this literally what they look like, but we're just giving you anthropomorphic symbolism. Not to be taken literally, because you don't want to fall into sin and then you start taking imagery and trying to label it as the creator. So people that run around and say, oh man, the creator is male and female. No, the creator is not. Male, the creator is neither male nor female. Okay? The creator manifests asexual or androgynous beings that have male and female principle, or male and female dimensions, or positive and negative dimensions. Okay, next slide. And this is where we at. We have to go deep within the self, because now when you go deep into the self, you go beyond the concept of what we see as the physical. And when you do that, then we know that responsibility must be shared. We all, as men and women in Israel, must go into ourselves in deep meditation. And within deep meditation, these things will be discovered. Next slide. So now, I want to read Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12. It says, and further, by these, my son, which is inclusive with daughter, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is the weariness of the flesh. This right here is to the scholarship body, or the students at the Mighty Hebrew University. The above, what we just read, this verse made mention, okay, as with all can read clearly, at least for some, has and have been the subject to a gross misunderstanding and taken. Next slide. Out of context by many within our nation, and to the point that the original Eastern concrete meaning has become lost by most, but still stand the test of time by very few. This misunderstanding has caused many not to go into a deeper research when pertaining to our original spirituality, culture, and history and heritage as a nation. Much love to my brothers and sisters that are bringing forth the absolute understanding that Yahweh, Elohim, or Elohim is the master of the multiverse and this universe. To understand Hebrew cosmogenesis and Hebrew anthropogenesis taught at the mighty Hebrew University, one must have a clear and concrete understanding of the three. Go to the next slide. Forgive me, family, that was my niece. You know, no harm done. You know how the children play. Okay, you're going to shortly see some diagrams, but you're going to see some diagrams come up shortly. Now, this is a brief synopsis that which was, is, and shall always become. The nations of the earth have always viewed historical reality as being either circular or cycler or both, or as the first and second and third diagrams are going to be shown in a second. A linear view sees history as beginning at an identifiable point in the past and proceeding into a straight line to a accumulating point in the future. This is why the Western world, Western liberal democracy, the Euro-Gentile, has to this day misunderstood the Bereshit or the Beta Eshiat, miscalled Genesis code. Many read what is now called the Bible with this type of Eurocentric lens. And because of this, they fall victims to their own misunderstandings of the Bible. Many Israelites and even the Black conscious community is guilty of this. Okay? Continue on to the next slide. Now, you see the two images. You see a linear history and you see a circular history. Okay? I just explained what the linear arrow, the linear history means to the Euro-Gentiles. Then you see a circular history. This is what many Afrocentric or Hamitic or African societies believe in, the circular history. But I'm going to show you as Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationals what we acknowledge in the next slides. Continue.
Real quick. So, man, we can't quite possibly, it's too much to cover in one stream. So, Mighty Hebrew, where do you want to, we need to like continue this on a part 2. And I would love to like know, when do you think that we, when do you want to come back and do the rest? Because we're here, it's 3 hours, you know,
that's ended today's Thursday, so let's come back next Thursday.
So next Thursday we're gonna like finish it up. Guys, are you guys all cool with that?
Yes. As a matter of fact, what you can do, let's close out, play that last song I sent, the original Hebrew, off my new album. Shout out to Killer Priest, who discovered me along with Hellraiser. You know what I mean? From Sons of Man. Y'all can get my albums. I got 4 albums out. I got the first album, My Mental Is Never Destroyed. That came out 2021.
But no, we're supposed to also do the show with Mr. Rosenberg on Thursday. So
so we're going to do Rosenberg, and we probably like cut it up because he on travel, so he said he'll be with us for like an hour and a half.
All right, so we're gonna do this thing and then finish.
So we can do yours tomorrow, like part 2, or no, Mighty Hebrew?
Say what?
We can't do the continuation of this like just tomorrow, or no?
I mean, I believe I can, because it'll be the Shabbat for us, but it wouldn't interfere because it's something positive.
No,
so,
exactly.
If you want to do it tomorrow, if DJ Genesis want to do it tomorrow,
I think that's better than waiting.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do part 2 tomorrow.
Is that good, Genesis?
Part 2 tomorrow, and then by next week we'll be doing the Kabbalah with Mr. Rosenberg.
Exactly.
By that time, we should have gotten through this and everything like this.
Okay, so tomorrow at the same time, just to keep it fresh too. You know what I'm saying? Like people get it today and then they get it tomorrow for Shabbat.
Absolutely. Yo, shout out to Blue Devil J. He said he is a mighty Hebrew. What did he say? check his resume out. He don't just talk about it, he is about it. Yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So Genesis, that's good for you, right? We could just do a continuation part 2, right? Tomorrow, same time.
Probably like same time, and then when the Sabbath.
Right? Because the sun's going down for me right now. I know we're in different parts of the world, but
it's for us right now. It's Friday morning. It's Friday. It's Friday morning, 5:39 a.m.
Okay, well, let's do it on your Shabbat. Let's do it. This is divine wisdom. So
play that song, DJ Genesis. I want to hear.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Prince Charlandine and his beautiful family, his beautiful wife. And yes, go ahead. You want to say a proper shout out to Sonetta. I'm gonna let you go say it.
Absolutely, I'm gonna definitely say it. Give a shout out to Sonetta Studios, House of Consciousness, Coliseum, Nepal Shaddai. We live and direct right here on Alchemizing Energy with DJ Genesis, Detroit's finest, the mighty Hebrew. Live and direct Tanzania by the way of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Hunting Park section of North Philly. Let's get it. Off this fourth album, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, this joint called Original Hebrew, produced by the famous DJ out of Detroit, Michigan, DJ Los. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Original Hebrew, black philosophy Jew. Wisdom all wise tombs, envision time zones, transported stargates via comas. The future unfolds, words non-spoken, graphic images and icons move from vibrations in dark rooms. Once entombed in the cryptic room, flesh was cold, then became warm, fighting the little horn. My brain storms, atoms swarm, uniform, no commercial codes, multiverse spawn, break the curses that's lurking, free the firstborn of the 1/3 trap. Mind zapped, the wet and earth, love boat, body broke, stuck on the curb. The dark age returns, silence, begging customs fossilized in gold. One eye sight pops, control minds in terror, skinning down Zion's men. Lion's head matted, queen lioness wept as we lost Yah's respect. Staff turned into attack. They made us slaves, changed our names. 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 Original Hebrew, black philosophy. I wear armor of honor, knowledge is power. I crush scholars, the shower lies in Zion. Yahweh Abba Nawa, a holy father, transcend thoughts to fire. 1/3 survival, as the righteous nicked up. Liars like Pharaoh mummified, deafs be dumb, blinded. American pie, looking in the sky for heaven, that's in the mind. Walking machines, lost in time, spaced out, they can't find. Crying for freedom from a tyrant. Kwam Yasha Allah, Israel rise higher. 12 tribes, Voltron, revolution, shoot, Gavatron, sound waves, beats like
Hey, so are we going to give like final thoughts for each person, or what? We're just going to go right to the end, or what we're going to do?
Oh, that was perfect. However you want to do it.
You want to like give final thoughts, or we just let the song be the final
thoughts? Yeah, we can definitely give. Yeah. Who's on? Just me and you?
No, I'm here. We're live. We're still live.
Let's give final thoughts. You the host, DJ Genesis. However you.
The hostess with the mostest.
Yeah. So however you want us to do it.
Want to go around and do our final thoughts?
Naturally, I will go last.
We got Oculus on the big screen. I don't think he knows it.
Oculus, final thoughts? Any final thoughts? Oculus? He driving, so sometimes he might not be available. Oculus.
We're calling on you. His eye looks like it reminds me of like the retina when we look in the middle. You know?
Oculus. Okay. Well, all right. So
I think he's asleep or he's doing something.
Oh,
okay.
He's driving. Okay, so let's go.
So who are we gonna go with the guest? Me? Let me take this off so they can see the true me. Oh, it's dark now. Uh-oh. I like when I look like this for some reason. It's like, doom, 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 doom. You can't see me because it's dark and I don't have any light. So let me turn this off. So I would like to say thank you so much once again to the honorable, amazing teacher. I mean that. I mean this with all sincerity. Let's see, how long ago, Mighty Hebrew, was it that I first encountered you? Was it 2015, 2017 on Facebook? I think it's 2017, was it? Or 15? Help me out, brother. When you were teaching?
2015.
Yes. And looking at your teachings, knowing you are a Hebrew Torah follower, Tanakh teacher, and then seeing how you are so beyond what we've been programmed to see about the Bible and about Torah. When you would teach the things about, which we're going to get back, I'm sure you're going to come back, about the light beings, the ethereal beings, and how people are millions of years? How, I don't want to mess up your teachings. Billions of years from existence? Correct me. Tell me. Are you there?
I'm saying, yeah, our existence 311 trillion, 40 billion years. But our physical existence on Earth as man and woman would be 18.5 million years.
Okay, going back to what he just said. See, when you hear somebody teach that, it takes your mind, it's like a shackle breaks off of your understanding when it comes to the teachings, these ancient writings. So I appreciate you tremendously. I'd love sitting down and listening to you, going to the metaphysical, the Merkabah, talking about, we're going to also get
Wait
to your...
until we get to Abraham. Wait until we get to Abraham. Y'all gonna be like, damn.
I already know. Listen, I already know. I'm just waiting.
Why?
You know, I'm sitting back. You ever tried
Why?
a great, delicious dish and you know it's delicious, and then you see people come in and taste it for the first time and you're looking at them like, it's good, right? I know you know it's good, right? So thank you so much, Genesis.
Somebody said, the boss said, give me some kosher corned beef. I'm a vegan, but that was funny. I laughed too.
Yes.
He said, give Mighty Hebrew some kosher corned beef or something. He may be hungry. And he laughed. That was funny, but I'm a vegan though.
Oh, yes, you are a vegan. And so I appreciate you. I appreciate Genesis bringing this together. Shout out to the HOK Sonetter for letting us bring this to the HOK audience. And peace to my people, the darkest minds of the light, which are the people here on the panel. We're coming together, vibrating together in what I call the universal mind of the Most High God. You know how I say the unfathomable God. I want to talk to you about that too, Mighty Hebrew. I haven't even gotten to that part. But anyway, that's my closeout. Peace and love to everybody. And tomorrow we'll sit back and try to go. I know we jumped in a lot, but I'd like to see really see your teaching really get put out there so we could get to the end of it and then come in and just really vibe with you on it. So this is beautiful. Thank you. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Yeah. First and foremost, I'm giving all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake. I say it to the family, Shalom Aleichem. It was definitely an honor and a privilege to come here, DJ Genesis. I always enjoy coming on Alchemizing Energy. It's a dope vibe. The audience is vibe. You know, everybody vibing, and it's just a peaceful, you know, it might have differences, but for the most part, everybody in the comments, they're very respectful. You know, they got their differences and they got their agreements, but I enjoy everybody. You know what I'm saying? If there's no pushback, then there's no type of strength to continue on my research. And I'm just glad to be on the ground, 50 years old in Africa, doing a lot of anthropological research on the Bantu-speaking tribes in Tanzania, Malawi, Uganda. Just give a shout out, shoot over to Arab in South Africa, does some things in Johannesburg, different areas. So it's just a dope vibe that I'm able now to spread the Mighty Hebrew University, Hebrew Cosmogenesis, Hebrew Anthropogenesis, archaic Hebrew symbolisms. Give a shout out to the Hebrew Israelite Sovereign Nationalistic Research Team,
They dope. Everybody, you know, shout out to, you know, Zaquin, Zadokia, you know, Anthony Millen, the General, you know, Lord Azaria, you know, so many people, Mori Alayawa, Dr. Mori Yoel ben Israel, you know, Karus, Mori Karus ben Israel, Saw Rabab ben Israel. I mean, the list goes on and on. Dr. Kazriel, shout out to Scoreboard Keepers. Also, I want to give a shout out, a special shout out to Princess Mina, the late Disco King Mario's daughter. We over here at FBA, we definitely acknowledge Disco King Mario as the founder of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? 1971, Black Spades, Baby Spades. Shout out to Bronxdale Projects, New York, over there in the Bronx, New York, where hip hop started. Shout out to all my comrades from Philly, where I'm from, North Philly. I ain't gonna never forget where I come from. And that's it, man. Be back tomorrow. Wait until tomorrow. We're going to get into Abraham. I know y'all like, but I had to lay the foundation first. You know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to, you know, just look like, oh, he believes in some little. No. I want y'all to take a piece of what I'm saying and, you know, eat it like steak. You know what I'm saying? The bone, you don't eat the bone, you throw it out. So whatever you disagree with, if it don't vibe to your circumference, then don't build on it. But that universal principle, what I broke down, everything, you know, has duality from that asexual being, so to say. If that's what you want to call it, the universal mind, whatever name, okay. That's where I stand. Hallelujah. Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism has risen worldwide. Oh, one more thing. Yes, y'all can get my music. I'm on Spotify. I'm on every major platform. Apple, Shazam, you know, SoundCloud, wherever. You know what I'm saying? I'm all over. YouTube Music. So, you know, you can get all my 4 albums. You know, most of the places you got to pay for them. But if you're trying to get free one, I know you can go on SoundCloud. It got some of my stuff. I made sure that Original Hebrew is on SoundCloud so everybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? But the album is called
And search for lurking, free the first.
Yeah, let that, matter of fact, I'm out of here. Yo, Genesis, let that last verse play. Let them hear the whole verse. That's end now.
Born of the 1/3 trap, mind zap the west, right and exact. They made us slaves, changed our names. 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 Original Hebrew, like a logic Jew. I shine with the 360, show the Dawi, degrees of light, blind so caucus one, eaters eyesight. 12 tribes of Israel has arrived with the iron staff and the might from the Most High. I'm power, recognize Elohim, energy, Zechariah and Juggernaut. Jewish peeps lie and say that they from the lawns of David. They know that they're nothing but thieving gypsies claiming to be we, but reality they are from a 20,000-year currency. Cro-Magna, Aryans, the grafters of the Indo-European. Jewish mean, want to be like a Jew. Motherfucker, I can see right through you. You not from the tribe of Judah. You don't look like an Ethiopian Falashian. You're a Leviathan from your mother's womb, chasing the past tense with your histories like Plato and Socrates chasing stories of Ramses. They made us slaves, changed our names. They made us slaves, changed our names. They made us slaves, changed our names. Original Hebrew, like a logic Jew. They made us slaves, changed our names. 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 Original Hebrew, like a logic Jew.
Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better day. Just know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like I am. Your energy. That's right. Only you can make the change. Shine your head at you. Shine so bright from darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way.